Hey, good evening. We're live again tonight, and we're covering the late night Dogecoin. And just want to welcome everyone. We had a great night last night. Went live for almost 4 hours, which is crazy. And one of the first things we wanted to do tonight is show where Dogecoin is in the top 20. And yeah, that's what we're going to do first. So want to let everybody join us, and we'll bring that up. But I'm going to move this. There we go. All right, let's get this working here. All right, so here we go. So Bitcoin is at the top, of course, and Ethereum second. That's no news to anyone, but go down here and look at 5 and 6. Cardano is where it was last night as far as its spot, number 5, and Dogecoin is number 6. What's interesting, though, is when we look at the market cap today, I guess, something changed because the market cap shows 38 billion. When I looked at this yesterday, it was 45, and Dogecoin was 42. So I'm not exactly sure what happened, but it's a little bit different. So we're going to go and highlight a lot of comments tonight, show some news, get people's reactions to what's been going on, and just in general, talk through all that's happening. I'm trying to get something set up here, so you guys bear with me for just a minute. There we go. That's what I was hoping to have. So, again, this is probably no surprise to anyone. Dogecoin maintains the 6th spot, up from a couple of days ago, 11. Day before yesterday, I think it was at 10, but it's jumped all the way up to number 6, and it's not too far behind Cardano, which is pretty amazing. Hey, John's up. Good evening, John. How's it going? What do you think about, I don't know if you've been watching it today. Actually today, Saturday, I'm here in Texas, Central Standard Time, so it's 10:44. Like I said, we're covering the late shift, but, I've been working all day outside and doing other things, so I have tried to catch up some on what's going on, but, yeah, it's interesting. It's been hovering, in the 30s, going down as low, I believe, as 22. Yeah, 0.2258 was the lowest, and the high was 33. So it's been interesting. We all know, I think, that it's been as high as 48 yesterday, and so not really sure. So, one of the things that we're going to talk about tonight is what would it take for it to get to $1. We talked about that some last night, but we've got some interesting tidbits to share. I kind of gathered some items in the news that I thought was helpful. And one is that there's a new retailer, if you will, accepting Dogecoin, and I'm going to pull that up. So America's oldest wine merchant is accepting Dogecoin now. So Acre, which claims to be the oldest and most respected wine shop in America and the largest global wine auction house, has announced that it is now accepting a select group of crypto assets, which includes Dogecoin. As we talked about last night, one of the things that's so important about Dogecoin, getting up to that 50 cent mark, getting up to that 1 penny or $1 mark, is more companies accepting Dogecoin as payment. So now we now have the Mavericks accepting it, and now this wine company, there is a airline that's accepting it. So as it gains more traction, being used as an everyday form of payment, if you will, then it's obviously going to not only become more important as something that's legitimate, but also highly likely that it's going to cause that price per coin to go up. One of the other things I wanted to talk about, because Coinbase has been in the news, obviously, the last couple of days. On the 15th, they went public. I think it was the 14th, so it's been now quite a few days, but on the 14th of April, Coinbase went public. I said live, I think, but they went public, did an IPO on the NASDAQ, and they had a direct listing, so they didn't use investment bankers, and they went direct, and I think it opened up at around 300 and some change per share. I've not looked at it today, honestly, so I'm not 100% certain where it's at. But what I wanted to talk about was the kind of what's called the Coinbase Effect, which is to say a cryptocurrency that's listed on Coinbase, generally speaking, gets the benefit of a surge. So we're going to pull up an article that kind of goes through that here in a minute, if I can find it. I know I have it here. I'm going to pull up something else real quick to find it. But again, the Coinbase Effect is a real thing. I've got a couple of different articles on it, so I'm going to pull up one here. Excuse me. Yeah, I'm going to, the one on CoinDesk. CoinDesk is a great news source as far as I'm concerned. So, really like it. And as you can see here, it says Coinbase Effect means average 91% token price gain in 5 days. It's not your imagination. Token listings on Coinbase tend to bring bigger price pops than other cryptocurrency exchanges like Binance and Kraken. I actually heard also that Kraken was not working for maybe most of a day. I don't know that that's actually true. I just discovered Kraken the other day and, kind of liked their interface and used it just as a way to kind of, watch the status of a coin, but I'm not signed up for them. I do have an account on Coinbase. I do have an account on Webull. I do have an account on Robinhood. I use Robinhood the most. At this point in time, I'm liking what I see about Webull. I also saw that Webull, and I've got the Twitter here to kind of prove that, and I already knew it, but huge news. Webull is testing out Dogecoin on their platform, and this person says so excited. So, that's cool. I'm going to actually retweet this, and I'm going to kind of add a little bit here and let them know that we're going live, or that we are live. So want to spread out all that information to the world. If you're on tonight and want to be a catalyst for this live tonight, by all means, share this out. I'm going to put in the comments, actually, the link. And if you guys want to share it, you can share it this way, cut and paste that, or you can just hit the share button there on YouTube and send it out on Twitter. whatever. We're going to be here for a while, so I'm hoping we'll have some other guests. We had a great night last night, and over 800 views, so that's amazing. One of the best nights I've had on a live stream. It was very exciting. Had a lot of dialogue, a lot going on, so super excited about that. So let's look at a bit more about this Coinbase effect. So let's look here. The phenomenon has been exhaustively researched and chronicled, and it happened recently after the digital token Cardano, ADA, listed on Coinbase. But now the cryptocurrency analysis firm Messari has conducted a fresh study. So this has been a thing, if you will, out there for a while, but there's this fresh study looking at the price pops of tokens on Coinbase during their first 5 days of trading, compared with the impact of listing on other big digital market venues, Binance, FTX, OKEX, Kraken, and the Winklevoss Gemini. I don't even know how to say that. Here's the really amazing thing. So Coinbase listings have the highest average return, standing at 91%. That's the average, but also have the widest distribution of ranging from minus 32, so not everything does well, up to 645. So, again, that 91% is amazing, but there is a really broad range there. Again, looking at recent listings, Cardano, along with ANKR, CRV, and Storage, and then this Filecoin have sixfold since it appeared on Coinbase. Cardano, for its part, jumped 36% in 2 days. So I think, basically the point is that, when Dogecoin, I'm going to say when, because I believe it's going to happen. I'm curious if you guys have already heard anything. What I know, and we talked about this last night, but we have some new people here, it looks like, so welcome. What I know is that the developers, supposedly the developers for Dogecoin are working on the API to basically get it up to the standards that Coinbase has for it. And it's my understanding that their standards are quite high. They're not necessarily known to everyone. I don't remember the actual token or coin, whichever phrase you want to use, it was, but there was a pretty well-known coin that was recently listed, and they didn't even let the organization that basically developed the coin, or the project, if you want to call it that, didn't even let them know until the day that it was announced to everyone that basically they had been approved and that it was listed. So yeah, Aliska, good evening. Thanks for joining. Asif Goldmine, hey, hello, man. Thanks for being here tonight. Good to see you, Santa. Yeah, I'm using StreamYard, and my internet seems to be acting up a little bit, so my beard may be looking a little bit more fuzzy. So I apologize for that, but thanks for being here with us tonight. Let me know, especially if you weren't on last night, but even if you were, let me know if you got into not Coinbase. It'd be fine. Let me know if you got into Coinbase. I don't have any Coinbase yet, but did you get any Dogecoin today? Are you in on it in any way, at any volume? And it did hit a low. When you look at it the last couple of days at 22 cents. So I obviously hope that not many of us bought in at 40 or 48. I actually think it went up to 49, but when you look at the published low and high. It shows 48 point something and the low 22 point something. But I am pretty sure when I looked on Robinhood and looked at the candlesticks that I saw 20, even 20 cents. So that would have been, in my opinion, a good time to buy in. But yeah, let me know. So let's go back here for just a minute. We're going to also look at another article. Why should we take Dogecoin seriously? Now, I do want to say on this, I thought this article was really good. Dogecoin rise reflects the power of collective belief and a longing for a more ideal form of crypto. So, and this article talks about this, and we're going to bring it out. But, the fundamentals that you might normally look for, not necessarily there throughout on Dogecoin. There are some unique aspects of it, and your traditional investor, I think a lot of them have a lot of problems with the way that this has risen to prominence, if you will. But hey, it is what it is. But nothing says 2021 like Dogecoin, a dog-themed cryptocurrency that has recently skyrocketed in value. We've certainly seen that. Almost reached 50 cents. Curious if you think it's going to make it over that hump and get into 50 cents on its own, or will it take some kind of a catalyst? Let me know what you think. I'm not sure yet. I'm curious what you guys say, and I can't see the comments right now, so hang with me. Last night we had over 100 comments, and we got to them all. So I'm here, for the duration, if you will. So we're going to get to all your comments. Appreciate the dialogue. But Dogecoin finished 2020 at less than half a penny. Can you believe if you had gotten in at that point? And maybe you did, and that's amazing if you did. So this is an older article, February 17th, so you won't read all this, but it's talking about 5 cents. But it says it may be tempting to write this off as a speculative frenzy or just a fluke, but that would be missing the larger picture. We should take note of Dogecoin's rise, if only because it reflects some of the key tensions of this moment in time. Dogecoin is literally named after a dog, which we all know, represented by Shiba Inu. I think most of us also know that Snoop Dogg is a big fan of it. Gene Simmons from Kiss is a big fan. Mark Cuban, Elon Musk, the guy that's on TV that does goes around to all the restaurants and tries out their food and stuff. I can't think of his name. He's a big Dogecoin fan. There is a NASCAR racing team that's literally got the Dogecoin mascot all over their car. We're going to bring up that article here in just a minute. But today, some of the most serious people in the not always serious crypto industry are annoyed by Dogecoin's prominence, right? We know that. A lot of people are like, why is this? There's no reason why this should be what it is, and they're dumbfounded by it and probably angered, right? But they've spent years trying to convince people that cryptocurrency has real technology behind it, even if no one outside the industry has the slightest idea how it worked. I can tell you that 10 years ago, that was me. What I mean by that was me is I just thought it was too complex. It didn't make any sense to me. It didn't seem safe. It didn't seem secure. My first thought was there's nothing behind it. It actually has no value. So I'm like, I'm not going to put any of my money into it. How things have changed, right? But almost every day there seems to be another brand name trying to get on the action. So we all know, I think as well, there's literally thousands of coins out there. Again, with Coinbase, they have roughly about 60, and there are thousands. So again, we've already talked about that, but to get listed on Coinbase is a big deal. Coinbase is also a US-based exchange, and that's a big deal. Even if your coin is the project is from another country, being on Coinbase is a big push because it adds some legitimacy. It's at least perceived to be a secure place to have it. All the things that you would want. So back to the article here. Almost every day, of course, new ones are coming on: PayPal, Tesla, MasterCard, Harvard, Morgan Stanley, America's oldest bank, BNY Mellon. The list goes on, and Bitcoin's price has responded accordingly. Now, again, this is dated. Bitcoin's now 60,000 something. And I'm watching here over to my right. So if you see me look over, and I'll pull it up here in a minute, I'm watching the price change on Dogecoin, and it's in the 27s right now. But here we go. Collective belief. Yep. How does this happen? How does something that seems patently absurd become undeniably real? This collective belief can prevail over more practical concerns. Until recently, Dogecoin was essentially abandoned by developers, with the latest major software release happening 2 years ago. Others have pointed out that it lacks its own miners, which makes it vulnerable to attack. Critics will say the recent Doge boom is driven entirely by speculation rather than fundamental value. Well, let me talk about that part for just a moment. And again, it will be a reference to Coinbase and to a certain extent even Webull. With both of those platforms, with indications at least that both of those platforms are going to be supporting supporting Dogecoin. I think that obviously the software is having to be updated, having to be tidied up, if you will. So I think some of these objections are being dealt with. But Dogecoin is a statement-driven asset, but lately a lot of things feel that way. Value is created by crowd sentiment and powered by the rocket fuel of social media. We've seen that with Slim Jim, for example. Elon Musk, we know how his tweets make a difference. Mark Cuban, again, to a certain extent. But the obvious example is GameStop, where Reddit's joined forces to drive up the price of a heavily shorted stock. I think the bottom line here is that it's way beyond the fundamentals, way beyond the technical analysis. Matter of fact, some technical analysts find it difficult to time the market, if you will, and see all of the necessary trends, because there's not a lot of data over a number of years like there is for coins like Bitcoin and other more mature or other coins that have been active. Really, I think until very recently, Dogecoin was flat and hadn't hardly any movement at all. Things had picked up, and I'm curious what you think about, are we ever going to see it in single digits again? I doubt it. But people want decentralization, but it remains out of reach. So I guess bottom line, and we're going to go back to the screen here. I think bottom line is, there is a lot of momentum behind this, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon. Doge Day 420 is trending on Twitter. Hey, Damien, yeah, thanks for joining us. Yes, it is, and I think that's going to potentially be a catalyst. I'm not sure that anyone knows what Elon Musk will say on 420. And I think Slim Jim, for example, has something that they're going to be doing on that day. I'm sure that Elon Musk will not disappoint. Can you imagine if, for example, I don't know that this is going to happen, and the comments are starting to roll in. So thanks. And by the way, if you're new to the stream or to the channel, please subscribe and smash that like button and turn on notifications. We're be amazing if we got to 500 subscribers tonight. We're at 424. We got a lot of new subscribers last night, and that's awesome. And it's all because of you guys. But imagine if Elon Musk on 420 says something about Dogecoin. Slim Jim, we already know, I believe, is. Imagine if Mark Cuban, for some reason, kind of joins in. And imagine if Webull and Coinbase, both on that same day, which is only a few days away, if Coinbase and Webull also announced that the platform has listed Dogecoin on there, that may be enough. Those things, if all of those happen, that may be enough to get it to $1. What do you think? Probably 50 cents for sure. It's going to be a big day, I'm sure. Yes, it is. I'm going to look here for just a second. Yep. So that's Tuesday. It'd be great to be able to take Tuesday off, honestly, and just live stream, all day long for 8 hours. I probably can't do it, but let me know if that's something you'd be interested in being a part of. Catalyst, yes. Catalyst is the word, and can't wait to see what happens. That was me 10 years ago as well. Yes. I wish at least 5 years ago I had kind of woken up to the reality of what it is. But hey, better late than never, as far as I'm concerned. So I'm excited that we're living in the times that we are, and can't wait to see what happens. I think I really need to try to understand it. There's so much to understand, isn't there? So, there's just the exchanges and the number of exchanges, which ones are U.S. based, which ones are in China maybe, or wherever they are, which ones are the safest, which ones have wallets, which ones don't have wallets. Should you have a wallet that's not, created by an exchange? Lots of things. And then there's literally, I don't even know the actual number. I'm sure there's a percentage number, but the percent of new projects that come on, come into this ecosystem every year. But the reality also is, and that's probably why Coinbase, if you think about it, why they only list about 60 of the thousands that are out there. There's only going to be so many winners. And it's also starting to be apparent that there are, these blockchains that have their niche or their niche. For example, there's one where you use their coin to pay for hosting files. In other words, think of Dropbox, but the way you pay for it, I guess, is with the coin. It's called file something or another, but there's just almost no way to keep up with it all. John says, I'm unsure about getting a third crypto stock market app or account. I get it. I would like to have one, honestly, that had the primary coins that I want. I would like to be able to, obviously, be able to get Dogecoin, and obviously like the fact that Robinhood or Webull, for example, don't have any commissions. That's very attractive. Webull would probably be what I would gravitate to if they not only brought Dogecoin on, but I would want to see Cardano on there and XRP. Obviously, Ethereum and Bitcoin are already on there. So, and maybe some others. But if I was going to say my top four, and not in any particular order, but as I mentioned, Bitcoin, Ethereum, there's 5 actually, Cardano, XRP or Ripple, and Dogecoin. Again, in no particular order. If I was going to order them, Dogecoin would be the top for sure. It has I think the most likelihood of allowing us as individual investors to get in at a price that could literally change our lives, right? So Webull already started. So really? So Damien, I'm curious where you got that information. I went on my app today, and they're probably maybe they're rolling it out somehow regionally or whatever. But when I went to the app earlier today, it said they were experimenting. So maybe that's what you mean by already starting. And if you mean you literally can buy it now, I'd be curious to know. They are in bets right now. Okay, I'm not really sure what you mean by that, but 8 hours straight would be awesome. So are you going to join me for 8 hours straight? If I do it somehow, are you going to stay on? I'll do it if you guys will stay on. I may have to just leave the stream running while I do a few other things, and I'll have the Dogecoin, Webull app probably up so you can see what things are going. But that'd be great. I may actually do that if enough of you would at least keep it on. Maybe you have to walk away as well, but keep it on, keep it running. I'll do an 8-hour stream, no problem. Okay, Webull sent a message to a few thousand to start test trading Bitcoin just today, and I'm assuming they will release within the week or two. Okay, I thought that Bitcoin was already, I thought you could already buy that on Webull, but maybe not. Oh, Dogecoin. Are you saying that you're correcting what you said for Dogecoin? But that's great. I'm curious, do you have, if you could put it in the chat, if you got a link to an article where you maybe read that would be awesome. While we're hanging out here, actually, I'm going to look. I know there's another article that I wanted to bring up, and it's the NASCAR. So let me find that. Yeah, here it is. So let me switch to it. By the way, I don't know if you guys know about Benzinga. I think this is a really good news source. So I actually want to save this as a shortcut. But here, this one is a little bit older, actually. So I'm not sure that this is the one. Yeah, this is not the one I really want to bring up. But because it's funny because this is dated 2021. I'll read through it, but they're showing 98. This was the original car, I believe, in 2014. And we'll pull up the other article here in a minute. But it's funny. I'll go ahead and say this part. Apparently, this car in 2014 had the Dogecoin logo and all the things on it. But then here, actually, really recently, the the number 98 car, his son has a number 99 car, and some guy basically talked them into doing the Dogecoin for the 99 car, and he didn't even know about the fact that back in 2014 that they had done it with this 98 car. But let's see here. For the uninitiated, Dogecoin was, okay, yeah, we know that part. Brief history, we're not going to go over that as well, but as our team has covered throughout some of the major swings in the cryptocurrency has been fueled by Tesla. Yes, we know that. Elon Musk. The meme currency has trended on Twitter. Yeah, we know that. The sentiment study was conducted. Dogecoin hit an all-time 45 Friday. We know that as well. That represents a 650% increase. Okay, this article really doesn't cover what I wanted to cover, so I'm going to pull up another one here real quick. And but let's check on the comments first of all here. I have a morning job, but would definitely work it in. I get it. No problem. I don't have an article. I watched a live streamer like you, and he showed us the message on his phone. Cool. Well, it's something to look forward to. I can't actually wait. I think it's going to be amazing. Okay, now I've found the article on the most recent NASCAR car. Okay, so much wow, very vroom. Dogecoin to sponsor NASCAR driver in an upcoming race. Look at that. That's amazing. That's pretty cool. Dogecoin. Spring Greats is the main sponsor of this car 99, but they've got Dogecoin and the Shiba Inu right there, front and center. When driver Stephen Parsons takes the track at Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Xfinity Series, Alsco Uniforms 300, a certain Shiba Inu will be riding along as a sponsor. Sean Taylor is the founder and CEO of Spring Greats, and that's the car's main sponsor. As I said, says he immediately saw an opportunity to bring back Dogecoin, the cryptocurrency originally started as a joke. In NASCAR, as popularity and traction has increased on social media platforms. Yes, it has. Lately, I've been obsessed with learning more about blockchain, haven't we all? And the future of decentralized currency. I had the idea of including Dogecoin on the car for this race while chatting with Stefan following the season opener in Daytona. It was ironic. Here's the part I was talking about earlier with that article. It really wasn't what I was wanting to bring up, but it was ironic because at the time I wasn't aware his dad, talking about Stefan's dad. Yeah, Stefan's dad. Stefan's dad team previously ran the Dogecoin car in 2014. Maybe it was fate. So there's the 2014 car, 2000 or car 98. This isn't the first time. Of course, we know we're reading it here. Interesting fact, Reddit back in the day in 2014 raised $50,000 to put the currency on the car for driver Josh Wise. Dogecoin has such a great community. Isn't that true? And there's so much interest surrounding it. I'm drawn to it because it's affordable. Same for all of us. I think we're all drawn not only, well, I know I am. I'm drawn to it because it's fun and cool and affordable, but I'm also drawn to it because I truly believe that there's enough behind it at this point in time and enough that will continue to be behind it to make it a legitimate investment. Because it's affordable, gaining a lot of traction, has endless potential. Plus, who doesn't love memes? I really believe, and we talked about this last night, that the Dogecoin has a real, has the real opportunity, capability, chance to be a form of currency, if you will, that can be used to buy and sell services. So let's get back to the comments. John says I would be able to watch the stream depending on if it's in the afternoon. Hey, no problem. Again, it would be if I run it, and I may do it, and obviously whoever can join. I will have to at times just have the screen showing the, some things like the ticker, if you will, or in other words, the price up and down. I would probably have my Webull app as what's showing, because then you could actually see the candlesticks, progressing on 1 minute increments. And I may be able to. I had some problems with my background music. And it causing a copyright notice on YouTube. I pay for the service, so there's something going on there, and I wouldn't want to jeopardize, honestly, the that watch time would not count towards the partner program if I get a copyright claim again. So I may or may not play music in the background, but nonetheless, it'd be cool. I wonder what the odds are for the Dogecoin car to win the. That's a good question. I don't know. Could you imagine if it won? That would be great. What would be even more amazing, and it's not the case, but imagine if that race was on 420, right? I'll leave it on. Okay, cool. That's super cool. I'm going to, if you guys don't mind, I'm going to go on to, and I'll just kind of try to talk some of it, some while I'm doing it, or you guys can share in some of the comments. I'll just let you watch as I do it. That way I can kind of do both. I'm going to go into Twitter here, and we're just going to kind of continue to look at some of the top tweets out there and try to generate some more interest by posting some stuff out there. Or I should say just, retweeting, sharing some love out there and letting people know that we're live. Someone just made the purchase of, wow. Wow. This is another thing that I want to learn how to do. There's a way to basically, I guess, go do exactly what they're showing here. Wow. You would think if that's actually true that would have had a impact on the price. You would think that would kind of cause it to jump up there for a minute. But anyway, we're gonna retweet this, let people know that we're talking about it tonight. And wow, that's pretty amazing. Can you imagine? Sorry, but I'm going to sit on this for a minute. Someone just purchased, if that's right, that's 3 trillion. 3 trillion. Is there even that much out there? Anyway, I don't know, but that's amazing. That's amazing. For almost $1 billion. Who do you think that could have been? Is it, maybe that's Coinbase, possibly. Maybe they're trying to, in essence, build their own wallet. I heard some people talking about that. But wow. Retweet if you're still holding Doge. Yeah. Having problems talking tonight. I am definitely holding on and would like to acquire some more, possibly. So that's what I'm looking to do. You guys, if you want to get on Twitter on your feed and share out the stream, that would be amazing. Here we go. I wonder if 50 Cent now knows that he is a big meme in the Dogecoin community. Yeah, that's a good question. Let's retweet this. We're going to get back to the comments here in just a second. Won't do this, but maybe another 30 seconds or so. But this actually helped last night. Let me make sure actually that I'm, one other thing, I'm going to do this real quick. I want to make sure that it's the right. No, yeah, this is the wrong. I'm sorry, guys. It's the wrong link. So I'm going to get the right link here just real quick, and I will be right back. I don't know what happened, but I got the wrong link in there. The wrong link in there. Nope. All right, so now I have what I need. That's funny. I don't know what happened there, but that was last night's All right, so let's we'll go back here for a minute, and I'm just in just a few minutes going to get to the so let's retweet, or sorry about that. We're going to retweet one more time this information, this one. I'm officially a Dogecoin maximalist. We are witnessing, wow, Doge become the currency of the internet. Accept it. $1 has been programmed. I like that. That's cool. Now let's tell them the right link. And we'll rack up their count. You guys, if you want to also follow me on Twitter, at Shane Trammel, ShaneTrammel, that would be amazing. Nice consolidation. Still going to wait for the moon. Yeah, I mean, you guys let me know at what point, given what you know right now, where you would, if you're looking to buy more, where would you get back, or get more, or get back in if you're not in Dogecoin right now for one reason or another? What are you hoping for with regards to a price, or where would you? I would say I would like 20. Obviously, 22 even would be nice. Let's see. Who knows where it's going to be? That would be a great catalyst. Yes, it would. If that is true, that is crazy. Now I've already forgotten what. Oh, yeah. You're talking about the 1 trillion. I don't, like I said, I don't even know if that many is in circulation. I'd have to go look again. There's so many numbers out there. There probably is that many in circulation, but that's a lot. Waiting on a few more comments. So let's go back just briefly and respond to a few more of the tweets here, and let me know again, like I said, what two things. Where would you buy some more? At what price would you buy some more? What price would you be comfortable with buying it in? Also curious if you're, again, just to have dialogue, are you in to hold and make a ton of money, or are you looking to make some quick money, or maybe it's both? Maybe you want to take some profit. Most of the people that are on right now were on last night, so I won't go through my story again. But if you're watching this in the replay or something like that, go to episode 87, and that's a 4-hour stream. But I talk a little bit more in that live stream about my experience with selling all of my Dogecoin with the intention of basically just getting some more with the profits that I took, and then getting back in. And it just was the perfect storm, in not a good way, perfect storm, where that was the day that it shot up to almost 50. So I did get back in, but at 35 cents, and I was a lot, I had a lot better average prior to that. Here's the 420 picture that I've been seeing a lot of. Let the whales sell our favorite Dogecoin, then we can have a better price to own. So what they're talking about there, and I'm sure you guys already know this anyway, but the whales, those that are big holders, over 50%, maybe I think 60%, somewhere between 50 and 60% of all in that purchase of 1 trillion shares, or not shares, sorry, coins. If that's true, probably adds them to the list of whales, but and so maybe it makes it 21 people, but roughly 20 21 people own roughly 50 to 60% of all of the Dogecoin that's in circulation. So you may know again already, but Elon Musk basically a while back said, hey, I'll buy some of that off of you because it's in too few hands and it will be better for everyone, better for the coin, all of that, if it is in more hands and not so closely held. Welcome, welcome. I know there's some new people joining. We're talking about Dogecoin tonight. We're going to be on for a while. We'd love for you to share out the stream on your different platforms if you'd like to get more people in. I just put in the comment or in the chat what that link is, but 20. So Aliska's saying 20 would be good. Would be a good starting point. Okay, yes, it would, given I think where it's at right now. My caution about that is, and I know what you probably would not be surprised with what I'm about to say, just realize that I do think 20 is a good spot to get in, but it could go possibly back down to 14, right? 15, there's no way to know, and you might feel bad temporarily that you didn't time it somehow, perfectly and get in on the lower level. But I'm, again, I would even be a 20 would be amazing. 25 would be okay. It's at 27 right now. I'll be honest. I'll tell one other thing about my experience of selling and then getting back in. I panicked. I'll be 100% honest and transparent. I panicked, and what I mean by that is I was so anxious to get back in that I got back in at 35, and obviously had I waited, had I put in a limit buy, something like that, I could have got it possibly at 20 or 23 and saved 7 or 8 cents per coin. And, at this point in time, that makes a big difference. 7, 8 cents makes a big difference. But I'm happy. Actually, I'm okay with it. I'm in it for the long haul, as much as I would like to have back that those pennies that I missed out on. It's all going to be good. John, yeah, Doge is going on a nice steady walk down the road to Elon's the moon. Yeah, it's a good one. Here's the link. I'm just showing it, but you guys can cut and paste that if you want and spread it out there. We've got a good crowd on tonight. Hopefully it'll pick up a little bit more. Last night I couldn't even keep up with the comments. I did respond to them all, but they were coming at a pretty steady pace, and it was fun. So the night is dedicated to Doge, but if you want to mention some other coins that you're either looking at or that you're have a position in, that's perfectly fine. I will continue to talk about Dogecoin primarily, but again, two others that I continue to try to research more and don't own yet, but I think it's in the plans. Cardano, which is the symbol is ADA, and Ripple, which is XRP. Those are the symbols, if you will, for those two. Again, problem is there's not one place where you can get all of the ones that I would want. In other words, XRP, I guess, is problematic because they were in a lawsuit, if you will, with the SEC. I don't know that they've actually fully settled that yet, but it's presume that they will prevail, they being Ripple, in other words, and that they will emerge from that unscathed. And when that first happened, it was delisted from, I know Coinbase delisted XRP. I don't know if they'll bring them back on when they've been exonerated. If they are, if that SEC lawsuit is settled and it's found that Ripple, that there's no issues. I don't know if Coinbase will bring them back on. That will be a catalyst, I'm sure, for XRP again, if they are. So I don't know, honestly, where you can actually get XRP. Cardano is on Coinbase, but my preference, honestly, I've already said this, but my preference would be that Webull would have all of the ones that I'm interested in, and then I have one place to do it. John, I don't know if Mark, probably not. Well, supporting it, I'm not sure, but in essence, they've tried to create their own currency, I wouldn't call it a cryptocurrency, and I don't know how well it has been adopted yet. And there were a lot of concerns about that, but I think Facebook's basically trying to create their own digital payment currency, if you will. Whether he's supporting it or not, I've not seen anything that would suggest that he is. He may be silently supporting it by owning some, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure at all. And we, by the way, are live only on YouTube tonight. I just want to say again, thank you for everyone that's on this stream. We are trying to build something here. I've got a small YouTube channel right now. It actually had a really good growth spurt last night because we had such a engaged and really about 41 people, which for me is just tremendous and exciting and all that. So we grew a little bit tonight. We're close to 500. We need about 30 more subscribers to get to 500. So that would make us halfway to our goal, which is 1,000. One of the other, I said this last night as well, but one of the other streamers that's mostly streaming about Dogecoin, he reached the 100,000 mark the other day. So want to congratulate him. I should really actually remember his name and his channel so that I can give proper credit, if you will. But yeah, that's awesome. I know there's room enough for a lot of different personalities, different channels, different approaches, all the things. So, I think we're going to be able to carve out our community. And I know many of you are taking in a number of streams, and I do as well. So I'm out there taking in, anything that will get me to where I know more than I did the day before. Right. So, so we're going to go back here to Twitter just for a little bit and tweet out a few more. Going to kind of look for the ones that have, now, is that a Jaguar? I can't tell. Dogecoin and Bitcoin makes your dreams come true. I'm curious if anyone on tonight has any Bitcoin or Ethereum. I had Ethereum for about 2 days. It was kind of the place that I was holding my basically my money until I got back into Dogecoin. Oop, got to get past that one real quick. Crypto, the Doge way, Doge didn't make the overall dip of the crypto market. It's stronger than ever expected. Watch out. If you're not invested yet, get in as soon as possible. This doesn't look like it has a lot of love. It is a top. It shows up in the top. So we're going to retweet this. Maybe we can get some people to join us here on the live stream. That would be amazing. last night that seemed to be a good catalyst, if you will, for us. Thanks to many of you. When I looked at the analytics from the live stream last night, what was it? It was like, of the external sources. So when you look at your analytics, you can see the external sources like Facebook, web page, whatever. Over 45% of that was from Twitter. So let's pull up here for a minute the Webull interface. So you can see over here on the right, and it may be kind of small, obviously, if you're on a phone, and you could make it bigger, but here's our update price going on within the 24-hour period that they're, I guess, looking at here. It's opened at 27, the high 27, and today's low is 26. So I think this has, readjust at some point to give you a 24-hour picture. But 26 right now, again, last night about this time, it was hovering mostly around 30, 33, maybe 34 at times, but it's been in the 30s and the mid 20s for, at least 16 hours or so, right? Because it was most of the time while I was asleep, I think, was in that range, going up and down some, and most of the day here in the U.S. and even tonight. So there may be some kind of a rally tonight. I don't know what would cause that. Again, since this is in many ways an emotional, if you will, type of move that we're seeing, I don't know what could happen. Obviously, people all over the world are buying this, so it's not only in the United States. So I guess any kind of thing could happen. And if you guys see anything on Twitter or anything else, you're welcome to share it in the comments. Let us know what you're seeing. I think another thing that's really kind of cool about this interface is you can see the bid and the ask as it's kind of going back and forth, basically driving, the price, the buying and selling price. So that's cool. Again, I really like this. Let's look at Tesla just for a minute, just to have a little bit of variety here. Although, again, we're focusing on Dogecoin. But so Tesla was the 52-week low was 134. Imagine having gotten in then. That would be amazing. Open today was 728. The low was 724, and the close, well, I don't know what. I guess the close was 739. So that's a more than $10 spread. So I guess if you wanted to kind of day trade something, I would be interested to know. I've not done the analysis on this, but Tesla may be a stock that you could day trade and make, $5 to $8, maybe even $10 a day, trying to get in at the low and selling somewhere around the high. Of course, it's $739 a share. You'd have to have a good little bit invested in it for it to, make you much. Of course, percentage-wise, if you're making $8, $9, $10 a share, percentage-wise, I'm sure you're doing really, really well. And if you use limit buy and limit sell type things and a stop loss or take profit kind of orders, then you could probably do that. 52-week high was 900, so if it just gets back up to its 52-week high before the end of the year. I don't know what the math would be on the percentage increase, but that's almost, it's a 200 and, let's just call it $160, right? If I'm thinking that right. Yeah, $160 to per share that you would make. So that's pretty cool. Let's get back to the comments here. Hey, Eugene. I think you may be a first-time visitor. Thanks for joining us. We're talking about Dogecoin tonight. If you didn't know that, primarily I was talking about Tesla there briefly. So, yeah, I just saw this too, Eugene. We pulled that up here just a few minutes ago. We retweeted one of the tweets that showed this. Now, what I saw, though, was 1 trillion, I think, if I remember looking at it right. This is 3 trillion, nearly $1 billion. Yeah. I don't know how accurate this is. I'm not saying it's not, but this is the kind of thing that I guess, depending on who is seeing it, may be a way to pump the stock up. So I'm just going to say, because maybe it's the right thing to do, is to say I don't know how accurate this report is. If it's accurate, that's pretty amazing. Honestly, if it's accurate, you would think that the price would be going up and would respond to it. I don't see any indication on the charts of any spike. You would assume that this would be a catalyst that would make a big difference. So, yeah, I'm not sure. But hey, Eugene, if you haven't, thanks for joining us tonight. If you're enjoying this and getting something out of it, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can join us again. We're going live every night. I originally started now 88 days ago, streaming every day. Only been streaming and talking about Dogecoin for about the last 5. We'll be continuing that for the foreseeable future, and not really sure what we're going to do after that 100 days is over. We were asked that last night, and basically my response was, if we can continue to get community involvement, if you will. In other words, if we've got enough people joining the stream, then I'm getting more and more comfortable doing them. So I'm open to extending, if you will, the 100 days into maybe we'll at least do it a month at a time and just see how things go. So help us out there. Share this stream, share this video. Help us that way. And by the way, I am going to bring up one other thing, because it was mentioned last night, and only because it was mentioned last night. By no means am I at all saying this is something you should do, that you have to do anything, but up in the top left there is a link, and it's also in the description if you want to support this channel in any way. We're not monetized. We're not in the YouTube partner program yet, so we can't do super chats or any of that kind of stuff. And again, I'm blessed, and it's perfectly fine. But we do this just, if you will, free. We're spending 4 hours, 6 hours, sometimes a day, putting the stuff out there. And this is not literally a coffee, but I don't know how many of you guys have. It's basically a short link to a creator type of thing, similar maybe to Patreon. I would consider it something kind of like Patreon, but you can quote unquote buy me a coffee. So you do what you want to do. Regardless, we're going to keep going live. We're going to keep this up probably at least for another hour. We need more. Excuse me. We need more dialogue though. So you guys, let me know what you're thinking. Let me know. I'm curious. When would you, if at all, you don't even have to tell me if you don't want, what your average cost is right now per coin on Dogecoin, if you have any, but let me know at what price you would sell. I'm I'm in it. I'll start off. I'm in it at least to probably before I would take any profits at all. And I don't even know if I would at this point, but at least $10 a share. That would be my first. That'd be the first point where I might consider taking some profits. I'm curious what you guys would do. I made sure tonight to have more water. Again, I went live for 4 hours straight last night, and I didn't have enough water. I had a dream that Dogecoin hit 188 on Christmas Day. This Christmas, December 25th, 2021. That would be amazing. And I'm sure I would take some profit, honestly, at that point in time. I'm going to say, my first, unless there was some reason, some kind of emergency type thing, I think my first, and I don't have enough for that even to be realistic, I don't think yet, but it'd be nice to have to have to make the decision on at 100,000, do I take some out? At 250 or 500,000, do I take some out? I would say at 1 million, probably I'm definitely taking some out. That's life changing, obviously. I'm not saying that 100,000 is not life changing, but at that point, it really depends on where you think it's actually going. Because once you take, especially if it's on a run or something that's on a trajectory that's going to continue, the minute you take that profit, you may not be able to get back in without having to put more money into it. And again, you may decide to do that. But nonetheless, I don't think there's anything wrong with taking profit at all. That's a personal decision. You'll never hear me, say, hey, I think most definitely you should hold. My approach is going to be to hold. And if someone actually asks me my opinion, I'll certainly share with them what I probably normally will answer that in the way of saying this is what I'm planning on doing, and it depends. And that really kind of leads me into what I should probably say most times at the beginning, and I forget sometimes. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a licensed financial advisor, licensed investment consultant, any of that type of thing. I do have a degree in finance, from Texas Christian University. Been working in IT, information technology for, about 25 years, helping Fortune 100, Fortune 500 companies, go through business transformation, all the kind of things, but I'm not licensed to give you advice. So, I'm sharing my thoughts. So you should see this as, consider this education and entertainment. And by all means, since we're talking about cryptocurrencies, I would not put my mortgage money in cryptocurrency, right? Or money that you actually can't afford to, or you're not willing to lose. That's just the honest truth. Basil, I don't know if I'm saying that right, or Basil. I'm sorry if I got it wrong, but hey, thanks for joining us. I don't recognize your name or handle from last night. We had a really good crowd last night, but thanks for joining us. I hope that you will subscribe and turn on notifications and smash that like button. But I'm going to read through your comment here. Unless you own the coins for a year, you're going to be hit, yes, with used taxes. So if it were to sell before a year, I'd have to be at least 200K, so I clear at least 100K. I'm in it for the long haul. That's a very, very good point. Thank you for sharing that. We mentioned that last night as well. Two things there, right? For one, it's a felony if you don't click that little box, wherever the box is. I wasn't in cryptocurrencies for 2020 taxes, so I didn't have to worry about that. 2021, I will have to. Um, but yeah, I think your best bet is to try to hold it long enough that it's considered long-term capital gains, and then I believe it's 15% as opposed to potentially up to your tax bracket. So I agree. I would hold. Thanks again for sharing that. Well, we're going to turn to Twitter again for a minute. And what I'm going to do this time, instead of looking at the top, let's look at the latest comments out there on Dogecoin. And let's kind of just share out and let people know that we are going live. We know this is not true, right? Is it James Kramer? I can't remember. I was trying to remember his name last night as well, but I do not believe that he is a big fan of Twitter, or not Twitter, I mean, but of Dogecoin. So let's show this out because I think this is funny. This is real funny. I know he's not a big fan of Cathie Wood. We talked about Cathie Wood a little bit last night, but she's got a couple of different, about 5 different ETFs, and she's got one, ARK Innovations, I think is the name of it, but the symbol I know is ARKK, and they invest in quote unquote disruptive technologies. We might actually pull that up here a little bit later if you guys are interested. If you want to know what's in that portfolio, there's about 50. It's 50 different. I think Bitcoin is one of them. So there's stocks and at least Bitcoin, maybe Ethereum, as far as cryptocurrencies, but it's mostly stocks. We're going to see some stuff in this feed, obviously, that are like ads. So y'all should really follow me at this point. Okay. Okay, they're pushing something else other than Doge, trying to use Dogecoin, I think, as a way to get some people to look at their other stuff. So we'll leave that one alone. There's something I don't understand that language. 420, a lot of people pushing this out there. We've already done that. So to the moon, yeah, we want to see Dogecoin go to the moon. I like this, and I haven't retweeted this one, so let's retweet this. And by the way, again, if you're new, if you've just joined the stream, if you share out the live stream, that would be amazing. And if you connect with me on Twitter, that's also amazing. It's at Shane Trammel. Just like you're seeing on the overlay, you can see my name up in the top right there. That has the Instagram logo there. But also, if you go in the description, you'll see all of our social media properties. I'll say it that way. Would love for you to connect with us on all of those. YouTube is where we like to hang out the most. Believe that it is the best platform for, what we call, or what's called, evergreen content. So if we're ever going to be just in one place, typically it's going to be on YouTube. Dogecoin getting pumped. Okay, let's see how old this is. This is 3 minutes ago. Dogecoin getting pumped to oblivion. For your information, a large group of traders is manipulating the price right now. They just announced it on Discord. I think this is actually I tried to go to this Discord and I couldn't, so I don't know what's going on there. I don't know if I'm supposed to believe that honestly or not. That might be the 1 trillion or 3 trillion shares bought, but I can't know that for sure. This is about Dogecoin, but Safe Moon is something that one of our friends mentioned last night. Might be something you want to look into. I don't know anything about it at this point, but might be worth looking into. Dump before pump. Get ready. Okay, we're gonna. I don't. I don't think you should dump, but don't dump. Hold and buy on the dip. That's my recommendation. But anyway. All right, let's come back to the comments. Yeah, John. They're very well. I'm going to say I trust your analysis. So I'm assuming you mean similarities with regards to the patterns and all of that, and percentage increases, those types of things. So probably at a different, obviously, price level, but maybe by percent and those types of things. They probably were very similar. The one thing that I know is that, and we talked about this last night, but I don't think that, and you, John, probably don't either, but I don't think that Dogecoin will ever reach the levels of Bitcoin with regards to the price per coin. I think it will become more of a quote unquote practical coin that's used, as I've already mentioned, for trade, for goods, buying and paying for goods and services, and paying people for possibly employment, or possibly for bonuses. Someone last night asked if we thought that Dogecoin would ever be used to pay people for their work, and I think maybe that's coming. I think what's more likely earlier on is people getting paid getting paid Dogecoin, or being given the option. It would probably be optional for your quote unquote, average everyday worker. It might be given the option, hey, would you, your bonus that we're going to pay you at the end of the year or every quarter, would you like us to pay that in Dogecoin? So maybe you get that option. Maybe you get the option of Bitcoin or Ethereum, something along those lines. I can say, and we talked about this last night, but I can say that I know for sure there are a board of directors, in this case, the company's MicroStrategy. They didn't give them a choice, I don't believe, but their board of directors, they're going to start paying them in Bitcoin. So that's pretty interesting. Yep, last 5 years of Bitcoin. Yep, I got that. It's very interesting. So I'm curious, though, because I know that the last 5 years of Dogecoin was pretty flat, I think. So I've not done that analysis. So is it true that Bitcoin was relatively flat as well for a good while before it kind of took off and skyrocketed? And by the way, I think that Bitcoin is still something, if you can buy into it, is something you probably want to have in your portfolio, even at a fraction of a coin. It's very possible that it could get up to 200,000. So, even if you have a 1/5 of a coin, or 1/8, or whatever it would be, percentage wise, that's still pretty good. And it also helps diversify your cryptocurrency portfolio, where if Dogecoin, for whatever reason, doesn't do so well, maybe some of the others don't do so well, but maybe you've got a couple that do, like Bitcoin. It's pretty hard to, I think at this point in time, Bitcoin probably for the most part is on an upward trajectory. Not that it doesn't go down, on any given day, 20, 30, whatever it might be, 100. But I think in the aggregate, it's on an upward curve. So I don't really think you can go wrong with getting into Bitcoin. There are many that believe, I think, that at some point it will, for the most part, stop because there's a limited supply. And I just read today about this concept of Bitcoin halving, where I guess every 4 years, if I read it right, every 4 years, they reduce by 50%, if I read it right, what can be mined. So I don't know all the implications of that. I just know that there are some, things with regards to Bitcoin where they basically tried to ensure that there was no inflationary aspects to it. And obviously, I think one of the big draws to Bitcoin is that it's a store of value, kind of like a digital or virtual gold. There are those that believe that it will overtake gold at some point, as and maybe at least in the minds of some, and actually for some, it may have already become a replacement for gold. Those that maybe used to have gold, they've maybe sold off their gold and got Bitcoin instead, and it is now their primary store of value. So I'm just looking at a few more of the tweets out there. So we're going to go here just for a minute. Let's see. A lot of people are so creative. All these things that they got going, but this looks pretty good. So I'm gonna retweet this and show it some love. Let people know that we're live right now. It's a little bit slower tonight than it was last night, but hey, we're here if people want to join us. How funny, there's another Shane out there. Hopefully Ben got paid in Dogecoin most predictably fight of the year. Ben took a bigger dive. I'm not really sure which fight, but let's retweet. And maybe Shane will join us. Another Shane. Only 13 minutes ago, so they're obviously still up. So come on over, Shane. I believe in God and I believe in you, Elon. 0.25 fully supported with good retail support at 24. BTC on another downslide. The whole market looking to BTC for a Q. So one of the things I was reading about today as well is this quote-unquote altcoin season, which, again, if I was reading it all right, is typically roughly around a 90-day cycle, and that is where your those that are into Bitcoin primarily, and that's why why the term altcoin is used, because basically any cryptocurrency other than Bitcoin, even Ethereum, although Ethereum is number 2, put into that altcoin category, and apparently a lot of people take their profits from Bitcoin when it's in a period of slowing down, take their profits and then invest those profits into the lower cap altcoins. And there's some problems with that, especially if you don't recognize it, I guess, where that certainly can drive up the price of, because they're buying in, can drive up the price of these altcoins, and then, at some point they maybe are going to take profits, get out of that, put more of that back into Bitcoin, whatever. So it does create some volatility that you have to just be aware of. Hey, Jawapa. Let's look at your comment here. Thanks for joining us. I would also be curious, because I know we've got some new people on here, if you could put in the comments, or in the chat, I should say, would mean a lot to me to let me know how you found out about the live stream. Maybe you're already a subscriber and have notifications turned on. That would be awesome. And if you don't have notifications on, I'm just going to ask you in the kindest way possible. If you do that, that would be amazing. Thumbs up for doing that. But I'd be curious how you found out about the live stream tonight. And let's look at the comment here. Anyone thinking Doge will be anywhere near what Bitcoin is retarded. Oh yeah, you're right. Doge is nothing. Doge is nothing, and you will all lose a lot of money if you don't dump this stupid coin. Hey, that's fine. We're I think on other channels you might get banned, and that might be considered spam or hate speech or whatever, but I'm not threatened by it. I think most of the people on here, from what I can see so far, knowing my audience, it's small enough, thankfully, that I can get some sense. I don't at all have any concern with the people on this stream that they, are doing things that they don't have some, that they haven't thought it through, that they're not willing to lose all of the money if they do, all the things that you would do when you're getting into something with some uncertainty. So, Jawapa, you're certainly, entitled to your opinion, and I'm more than happy to continue to engage you. So, are you a maximalist? Are you only into Bitcoin? Do you own any cryptocurrency at all? Let us know. If you think that we should get out of Dogecoin, then what else other than Bitcoin do you think we should be into? And also, if we don't have $60,000, for example, what would be your approach to own Bitcoin? Hey, Shane. Hey, Manny. Thanks for coming again tonight. Better late than never. I'm joking. I actually started the live stream last night a little bit later, and I know I'm getting the late crowd, so thanks for being here. I guess you saw, right, that we're crazy if we have Dogecoin, and Bitcoin's the only thing we should have. So let's help Jawapa a little bit with, give him a little bit of love and tell him why we think that he may be wrong, if you want. I kept buying the dip, and my average went down. Hey, good deal. That's awesome. You'll have to forgive me. I don't remember what your average was prior to that. Mine, unfortunately, is at about 35. So when I can, I'm going to buy some more in the dip as well. Unlike Jawapa, and then I won't say any more about that. Unlike Jawapa, I'm in it to win it, if you will, and I think that it's got enough momentum behind it that it's not going to end up in obscurity. I think by no means is that going to happen, but it could, and that's okay. A proper hold is oh, I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that. I'm not as anyway, I don't know if that's a joke or if it's something you really, really mean. It's probably something that I'm not seeing, and maybe that's good. I don't know, but hey, I do say welcome. Thanks for joining us tonight. Twitter. Okay. Yeah. Thanks, Michael. Glad that you found us. I think you may be new. We had a really, really good live stream last night. Almost 41 people on. Well, we did have at the top 41 people on. I think over 200 individual comments, and we responded to literally every one of them. I think 800 and something views. So really good stream last night. I only say all of that to say thank you for joining us, and I apologize if you were with us last night, but hope you'll come back. Hope you'll stay. We're not done yet. If you want to kind of drive the direction that we take, make a comment, ask a question, that'd be great, and we'll be happy to talk about it. Is there a real whale Discord pumping Doge? I don't know. I think you're maybe asking, is this for real, the Discord? I'm also curious because, for one, you might have been on when we went to Twitter and saw that particular post, and at least when I click on the Discord and try to accept the invite, it won't let me in, and I don't know if that's because of my account on Discord. I don't know, but that number just sounds a little bit outrageous to me, and there's no indication, and I'll pull it up on the screen here, but there's no indication that there's any pump. I mean, if there was that much, if there was 3 trillion, or even if it's 1 trillion, excuse me, unless I'm thinking of it wrong, 3 trillion, 1 trillion Dogecoin bought would certainly make the price go up, and I haven't seen that happening. I literally am watching it in real time over to my right on another computer, and I've not seen that. I don't hear Jawapa well be at the moon and at that point. There you go. Yeah. There will always be haters. Yes, there will. I almost invite that. And again, I'm perfectly fine with it. I hope that's one reason that people maybe come to this channel and to this stream. You're going to have to start, using foul language and all of that, honestly, before I'm going to kick you off, because I've got thick skin. I'm my own person, if you will. I'm pretty confident in my thoughts and all that, although I can learn from anyone. So yeah, there'll always be haters. And again, when you post like I just did on Twitter, you're going to get people like a lot of y'all that have come through Twitter, and others that are not quite as not on the same page. So I am going to pull up my trading platform, quote unquote. I've not actually traded anything yet on Webull. Let's get off of Tesla. So I mean, again, that kind of volume would surely cause something like we saw 2 days ago, whatever, where it's gone up. That would be certainly the biggest thing, I think, the biggest catalyst over the last couple of days. And so certainly there would be something happening. So it seems like whatever they're trying is not working. And the fact that you can't even go to that Discord. So I'm curious if any of you on the stream here has seen that Twitter post where there's the link to the Discord. Have any of y'all tried it? Were you actually able to get into that Discord server? I wasn't able to get in, so I don't know what's going on. So by the way, and most of you that were on last night know this, but I'm using StreamYard. If you guys want to stream any on your own, you can see the link down there. You can actually get a free account. I think it's amazing. It's super easy. It's just web-based. I don't get anything. If you stay on the free plan, I get nothing out of it other than the pleasure of knowing that you found a platform where you could stream for free. So if any of you guys are into streaming or want to stream, my opinion at least is StreamYard's the fastest way, easiest way to get into that. OBS, Streamlabs, Ecamm, vMix, some of those are great platforms, I would say, as well, but typically they are going to require more hardware, a lot of other things. And this sounds, I know, like a advertisement, but I've been using StreamYard now for over a year, and this is part of what I talk about a lot when I'm not talking about finance, if you will, investment, that type of thing. So I think it's an amazing tool. So, hey Manny, are you saying that you bought the PlayStation with some of your profits, or did you buy it knowing that eventually, you're going to make or have already made enough, at least on paper, that that expense doesn't scare you? Either way, I like the sentiment. I only wish, like I said last night, that I had not gotten out at that point in time, but I learned my lesson, and I'm staying in. I got the same you did. Cool. So yeah, so I'm sorry. Yeah, you got the same I did. So that I think that's fake. I think that Twitter post, suggesting that, who would believe that, right? At least first glance, it's like that can't be right. Do you skyrocket in 420, Shane? I heard a lot about it due to predicts about Elon always surprising us. Yeah, we talked about that earlier, Manny, before you joined. No, don't know what Elon Musk is going to say about Dogecoin on 420. If anything, I guess there's no guarantee that he will, but I think it's fairly certain. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say, if he tweets something about it, I would not be surprised at all if it peaks beyond the 50 cent mark. That's definitely why I want to be in it. But of course, here's a reason that doesn't matter in one sense, but it's fun to talk about and important to talk about, because it proves that there are catalysts out there that will potentially get it to new lows and new highs. But as much as I would love to see it go above 50 to maybe prove a point, that's not where I'm selling at. I'm not selling at 50. So I'm, again, selfishly, I want to see it back at 14 for a period of time so I can buy into more. But it is fun to talk about the fact that who knows what's going to happen on 420. And I was saying earlier, imagine a scenario where not only does Elon Musk, and if you add all these together, maybe it's 60, 70 cents, maybe it even goes to $1, I don't know. But if Elon Musk tweets something, if Coinbase decides on 420, if they're technically ready to, that they will also list Dogecoin on their exchange, if Webull is ready on 420 as well, we're only talking, 3 days from now or 2 days from now. It's on Tuesday, next week on Tuesday. All of those things together could, create a perfect storm to where it's, certainly past 50 and midway or all the way to $1. I don't know. It'd be crazy. It would be amazing to see. One of the other things that I kind of asked the crowd here tonight is, hey, if I did a live stream for 8 hours straight, starting at a reasonable time on 420, would people be able to, watch it or have it on their phone running, if you will, in the background while they're just doing their normal everyday tasks? Because I'll have to be doing the same, but I could certainly have the stream running. I could have, my Webull screen, if you will, which would show, the chart moving, and we'd be able to watch together the price going hopefully up. And that would be recorded as well. Since I'm doing a live stream, we could go watch it again later. Maybe history will be made and we could all be a part of it together. So I could run that stream, and you guys could come in when you could, or like I said, maybe just leave it running, and I can get the watch time and you guys can be a part of history. But that'd be great. I heard a lot is due to the predicts about it. Yeah, so there's a lot of people that believe that, or hope at least, that Elon is going to do something. I bought it due to profits. Hey, that's good. But you got back in, and tell me, perfectly okay. I like to keep this very, friendly, if you will, and all that. Curious if you want to tell us what kind of games you play. Did you get the one with the CD thing in it, or the one without it? But I have still a PlayStation 3. I personally only use it to play or not to even play really. I use it to watch Blu-ray movies and Netflix and that type of stuff through it. But PlayStation 5 would be nice to have. I think I will get off at 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You're talking about on Tuesday, John? Is that normal? Is that your normal off time? But anyway, I think I may try to run it, and people can come and go as they want. That'd be interesting because who knows? It'd be nice to capture that, even if YouTube doesn't accept the video as a legitimate stream. Because if I'm not physically in it all the time, I don't know. But it'll be fun to have it running to capture literally history, maybe. Yeah, John, you may be right. I mean, you very well may be right. At least I'm under that for average price. So, I hope, obviously, even after 420, though, hopefully, there will be more announcements like other companies. I don't know, John, when you joined the stream, and for others that are still on, but maybe did join the stream a little bit later from our initial start, but there is, and I've already forgotten the actual name of it, but there's a wine company that does auctions wine and sells it, I think, online, that type of thing. They've announced that they will accept Dogecoin to buy their wine, so that's cool. More of those kind of things happening. Imagine another 2 or 3 NBA teams, a baseball team, a football team, some restaurant. I said last night, Chick-fil-A. All of those things can be catalyst to kind of keep some steady growth going. I think that's probably going to happen. There's no way to wish I had a crystal ball to know for sure, or could get what's that show where the guy gets? I think he gets a newspaper. I mean, it's an older show, but I think he gets a newspaper like the day before. And he knows what's going to happen. So it'd be cool to have that, but I don't. If you guys have one, let's work together. Your live stream tonight. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by that, John, but do you think people dumping Robinhood and reinvesting into other platforms has anything to do with the volume being negatively impacted? Well, Steve, I don't know, and welcome. I don't think you were on our stream last night, so thanks for being on tonight. I'd love to hear how you got connected with us, and hopefully you'll subscribe and be a regular. But I know some people are dumping Robinhood. I don't know to what extent. I'm not in that camp. I mean, I'm still on Robinhood. I don't know who they would dump. Honestly, if it's Dogecoin, I don't know who they would dump Robinhood for. I know there are some other places you can get it, but it depends on where you are. I think you can get it on Binance. I think you can get it on Kraken, but I heard that Kraken also had some problems. So I honestly don't know that there's necessarily a better place. I know people like to, and people are perfectly fine to do what they want to do. I just don't take quite the same perspective. I know people want to hate on Robinhood for what happened with with AMC, I'm sorry, and with GameStop and all that. I didn't jump on all of that, and I'm not saying that either in a way that I can't believe other people did. But my point is that didn't impact me. I'm not honestly concerned. I think Robinhood for the most part, and I would like to think I'm not naive about it, but I think Robinhood for the most part has the best of intentions for the average person out there. I think they're having growing pains, all the things. So I'm not a hater on Robinhood. Don't get me wrong. I think it's not good that they've had the problems they've had. And in Massachusetts, I think because of some of these problems, they're trying to get it to where Robinhood can't be used for those that live in Massachusetts. There are, I believe, some other states where that's the case as well. But I don't know. I have to say first, I don't know, but I don't think that it's necessarily the reason why we're seeing Dogecoin at 26. I think more a more likely scenario is that it got up to almost 50, and probably a lot of people wanted to take some profit. Here's an interesting thing that I heard today, if it's true, and then I'm also going to quote or semi-quote. My goodness, I can't remember the name of the founder, the CEO of Robinhood, but I heard, first of all, I heard that the average Robinhood user has $250 invested. So, and I think we all know, and again, it's perfectly fine. In other words, this is not a criticism. If you look at Twitter, there are people talking about investing, $200, which for a lot of people, that's a lot of money. So I'm not saying it's not, and then selling when they've made $50. Again, I'm not going to criticize that, but that's one type of user, and that may be a large percentage of the people on Robinhood. So I don't think there's honestly a lot of people on Robinhood with thousands and thousands of coin in Dogecoin, or millions. There's probably some, but a long way to answer. I don't think it's what's causing it, but it could be. But I do want to say thanks for joining us. I hope you'll keep coming back. I'll be on your stream for another 30 minutes, then I'll go log off. No, that's cool, man. Thanks for being here. Certainly appreciate it. I subscribed after seeing your post on Twitter, bud. Hey, thanks, Steve. Thanks a bunch. We're growing. It was amazing last night. Tonight's not quite as active. It is a Saturday night, so I understand. But we had over 41 people on. We went through and addressed everyone's comment, question, whatever. So, it means a lot to me that you've subscribed and that you're here tonight. And hopefully we're, bringing some value to you or entertainment. Either one of those is great. Been on since you started. I won't miss Tuesday's stream. Hey, John, that's cool. Anytime you can come and spend time with us, that's awesome and amazing. And it's my honor. Do we know the volume crashed pretty bad? Oh, I don't think down like 40% on the cap, right? Well, let me pull up something for a minute, and then I'll show it once I have it. Let me find it again. It'll be easier if I pull up the bookmark. But I'm going to pull up I pulled it up earlier in the stream, and you're joining a little bit later, which is perfectly okay. But I pulled up from CoinMarketCap the top 20, and now I'm ready to share this screen. And if you're on a phone, I know this is pretty small, but what I noticed at the beginning, assuming this is accurate, Cardano yesterday was still number 5. Dogecoin was still number 6. But yes, the market cap has gone down considerably. Yesterday, I have a photographic memory in some cases, and in other cases I don't seem to, but this was at 45 billion, 45 and some change. And then, Dogecoin was at 42. 42. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on. You can see, look at the dip here, right, on Cardano. I don't follow Cardano as closely, although I want to own some of it. I don't yet. So I think it's still going to be, but look at this, XRP also, all of them have gone down some. So there's something going on. Dogecoin not near as bad though, right? Look at Bitcoin, Ethereum. I mean, I know we can't maybe interpret a lot from this, but if this graph is accurate, it shows a big dip for many of the others, but a lot less for Dogecoin. So good for Dogecoin, it would seem, right? I mean, it's still it's still holding pretty well. I mean, Bitcoin's still a trillion. It was a trillion yesterday. I don't remember exactly what it was. And I remember less what the volumes were. I'm going to sort this just for a minute on volume. Look at this. This is a pretty interesting view. So over the last 24 hours, Dogecoin is third when it comes to volume. Ethereum, so wow, look at that. Only behind the two top, if you will, by market cap. So that's interesting. I don't know what, what to interpret from that necessarily, but it's interesting. Okay, we're going to get back to the comments here. Yeah, to like 35 billion. Yep, you're right. I don't know what happened. Oh, Steve, you live in Massachusetts. Okay, so do you use Robinhood? You may or may not want to comment. That's fine. Again, I'm not a hater, but I'm also not. I don't have an opinion if you hate it or if you love it. I think it's fine either way. People can like or hate whatever they want. By and large, I don't really care, but I did hear that Massachusetts may make it to where you can't use Robinhood in the state. But okay, yeah, baseless claim, yeah. In Texas, for example, I can't use Binance. I don't know why that is. I tried to sign up for an account, and obviously I put in where I live, and all that. Put in exactly. I heard some people, say, "Hey, use a VPN," all that, but I couldn't sign up for Binance because I live in Texas. I'm glad I could sign up at least for Robinhood. Yep, Damien, that's a good point. I think you're right. There are ups and downs, just like in business. Even there are business cycles. Obviously, I think the cycles in the stock market or the market in general, if we just want to say the market, like you mentioned, those cycles come and go more often. That's why, you got to have nerves of steel, obviously, and I know a lot, and there are people that are successful at doing it, but kind of have to have nerves of steel and some skills to do day trading. And the only reason I mention that is because I literally read an article today, saying that, most investment professionals, if you will, or someone that you might, pay to help you with a portfolio and investment and that type of thing would certainly suggest that, generally speaking, you should take a long-term view on it, which means you're not, other than the interest of it and keeping a healthy, keeping some tabs on how your portfolio is doing, that type of thing. But, reacting to every single thing that happens every day with regards to actively changing your portfolio and that type of thing is not for the faint at heart, right? It comes with some, in my opinion, some risk. If you're doing it, great and fine. I'm not saying you shouldn't, but I personally, for the most part, am on a long-term approach to this. I think that it would be fun, actually, and I've done this in the past and probably do it again, to take a certain amount of money, we'll call it play money, and day trade with that, just to make it almost like a game. But other than that, generally speaking, I'm not a day trader. So yeah, that's just me. I think it's number 8 now. You're saying that you think Dogecoin is number 8 now. It's possible that this chart, this is the only one I have, so I haven't looked at any of the others. Let me resort this, and I don't know how often this is updated, but Dogecoin is still number 6 according to this, but it could be wrong. this time good to buy if you're well, let me I'll try to answer that. And again, this is just me sharing what I would possibly do versus me giving you financial advice, just so we're clear on that. But it really relates to what I've already said. It depends on what your strategy is going to be. It's at 26 right now. Let me pull up my screen because this will help me for a minute. I won't show it to you guys, but today's low, if I'm looking at this right, was 25 cents, 25.54, and today's high has been 27.98, and that's within 24-hour period, if I'm reading this right. So, I would get back in potentially at 25 or 26 if I was looking at this long term. If I really believe that it was going to be at 50, if I really believe that it was going to be at $1, but it's equally possible that more of what's going on right now could continue, and I don't know what more of what's going on right now is. I'll be completely honest. I've been all day long doing normal life kind of things, so I haven't been able to watch the market, if you will, all day long, and not been able to evaluate the patterns and all of the inputs to what might be going on. But whatever it is that's going on could continue, and it could drive it down to 20. And so would it be better to get in at 20, 21? Sure. Would it be better to get into at 15 or 16, and will it ever go back to there? I don't know. But again, to answer your question, or to give you my opinion, if you're in it for the long term, 25s or 26, 27, it's 26 right now, not necessarily a bad place to get in. Here's what you might want to consider doing. First of all, it may depend on what platform you're on, but let's assume for a minute that you're on Robinhood, and if you're not, I do have a link in the description if you're interested. Don't point that out very much, but look at the description and see all the links that I have. Maybe some of them will be helpful to you, but what I recommend that you do is maybe put in a limit order to buy, however much you want to put in there for, 20, 25 or something like that before you go to bed, or even go for 24 if you're feeling lucky. And if you get it, if you say to yourself, I'll be fine with 24, put in 24. If you don't get it, then you can evaluate and then try it again. Cancel that one if you want, or leave it in there and wait and see if the next day it doesn't happen. There's some people are just gifted, I guess, with the ability to somehow mysteriously time the market, if you will, maybe. But there was one of our friends last night on the stream that said that he got in at 5 and sold at 35. 5 cents, in other words, was his average price, and sold at 35. He's I would say looking like a genius right now, right? The only thing that would have been better is if he had sold at 48, but getting in at 5 and selling at 35 is not a bad deal, because he can get back in now, having taken some profits, and I'd have to do the math in my head, but maybe actually be able to increase his holding of the coin. So thanks for joining. I hope you've subscribed and turned on notification. We're loving being able to be here with everyone tonight, and certainly appreciate you coming and spending some time with us. Okay, Steve, you use Robinhood and Merrill Edge. Okay, so Merrill Edge is like Merrill Lynch. I'm curious, can you get Dogecoin with Merrill Edge? I have TD Ameritrade as well, but I don't believe you can get Dogecoin. I don't even know if you can get any crypto on Ameritrade. I think they would be smart if they could do that, but maybe they can't. In other words, it seems that a lot of these more traditional stock like Fidelity and TD Ameritrade, E-Trade, all of those, maybe they can't. Maybe there's a regulation where they can't do that. Of course, Robinhood has both crypto and stocks. But anyway, I have a TD Ameritrade, and I actually sold to get into Dogecoin. I had a stock that was doing okay, but nothing spectacular. I actually sold the stock that I had in TD Ameritrade, transferred that money to my checking account, and then transferred money into Robinhood. And that's how I got started, honestly, about a month ago. It's my first ever foray into crypto, and I'm hooked. So, that's why we've been now talking about this for 5 days straight on the live stream. Okay, Steve, so you're saying that I'm looking to find an alternative to Robinhood. So if you're looking for an alternative to Robinhood for primarily, let's say, crypto, or a place that's like Robinhood where you can do stocks and crypto, first of all, I'm going to try to not make this super long, but it's my observation. Robinhood has most of the crypto that I would want. Like I mentioned earlier, and maybe this was before you joined, they don't have XRP, which I would like to get into. They don't have Cardano, which I would like to get into. Coinbase doesn't have XRP because they delisted it because of the problems they were having with the SEC. So it doesn't seem to be a perfect platform. Webull, which I'm really, really liking their interface, and I use it right now just to stay on top of how things are changing. I'll eventually buy at least a stock there. They're testing, from what I understand, they're testing Dogecoin. So I will almost assuredly make my next purchase of Dogecoin. Once they list it on Webull, that'll be where I buy my next batch, if you will, of Dogecoin. What I don't know on Webull is, do they have a wallet? Can you take that Dogecoin and put it in your wallet, which then would allow you to use it more universally, that type of thing? I have to look into that. Robinhood, as you probably know, doesn't have a wallet, but they're working on one, which would mean you could then, I don't know if there's a transaction cost or not, and I don't know if there's a tax implication or not, but hopefully if you're just transferring your crypto from one wallet to the other, there's no impact of that. But long story short, I think Webull is the next home for me for Dogecoin and just stocks. So I would prefer not to have to use two different platforms. So Webull, and I have a link in the description, by the way, and would be amazing if you decide to go on that platform to use my link. You get some free stocks with that as well. Anybody's link will get that for you, so you can use mine, you cannot. But Webull, I'm really liking it. I can't wait for them to get Dogecoin on there, and that's where I will be. So I agree. Do you like XRP? Not sure if that's the right spelling. Yes, it is. Is that a good alternative to Doge? I don't think, well, let me answer that in a different way. I think it's going to be a really, really good, from all the analysts that I've watched and heard and the research that I've done. I think XRP has a tremendous upside, tremendous potential as a something that's really used for smart contracts. It's supposed to be more efficient than Ethereum. Lots of different things. I want to do even more research on it. I see it as not an alternative to Dogecoin. I see it as a way to diversify within crypto, and it's still at a very attractive price. I think it's at $1.40 or so, and I'll pull it up here in a minute since you brought it up with regards to showing it to you on the Weeble watch list. But here's my the 5 that, and I don't own all of these yet, but the 5 that I want to be in is some fractional Bitcoin, some Ethereum, and it would be probably fractional on Ethereum as well because it's in the 2000s. Bitcoin's in the 60,000 range. XRP, which is Ripple. They're not listed right now on Coinbase because of the problems they were having with the SEC, but I hear they're going to emerge from that looking really, really good. Cardano, which is ADA, and then obviously Dogecoin. So I think that's a pretty good level of diversification, and that's where I'm going to be. Hey, thanks, RS. I'm just going to say RS because that's easier. I would really not pronounce your last name very well. I am curious. I'm going to guess that you're maybe not here in the United States. Maybe you are, given that it's almost 1 o'clock in the morning here in the United States. Would love to know where you're watching us from. And again, I hope that you've subscribed. And the better thing, you have to subscribe first, but the better thing is to turn on notification. That way you'll know when we go live again. I'm hoping here in the near future that I don't have to go onto Twitter and kind of promote this out. I don't feel bad about doing that, but it's just a lot of extra effort. It would be amazing to just go live and know that, you know, you've got an audience that's active and wants to engage and participate like everyone here tonight has. So again, I want to thank you for being here. And I'm curious, you know, do you have this time? Oh, this time. Yeah, I don't know if you were saying goodbye or not, RS, but if you're still here, I'm curious if you're willing to let us know what platform you use. You know, if you have, and do you have Dogecoin? Are you looking to get into it? You know, let me know. I'm gonna take a drink of water here. So, like I mentioned, we actually streamed for 4 hours last night, and it took 4 hours to get caught up with all the comments, and there were still 31 people on when I finally had to say goodbye. So it was an amazing night because again, 31 people still on, and I'm like, hey, it's been 4 hours. I need to get some sleep. And so I finally shut it down. But I do want to say for those of you that were on that one last night, thank you. And then obviously for everyone that's on tonight, you don't know how much it means to me to have you here. What is your name and where are you from, bud? My name is Shane Trammel, as you can see up there. So come connect with me on Twitter and Instagram. And I'm from Texas, the nation of Texas. I'm kidding. The great state of Texas. Lived here all my life, visited a lot of places, love a lot of places, but I can't see myself ever moving from Texas. Got deep roots. That's probably true of a lot of people with regards to wherever they live. So now, Steve, you have to return the favor and tell me your name, your full name, right? And where you're from. That'd be great. Again, I know this, conversation is mostly about Dogecoin, and what I'm going to do, because Steve, you brought it up, I'm going to pull up, and then my eyes are going to be off the comments for just a little bit, so you guys hang with me, and I'll bring the comments back up, but I'm going to pull up. Can I pull up XRP? No, I can't actually on this. Yeah. I've got another way, I think, to pull up XRP. So let me go to my browser here and pull up something that should be able to show me that. Kraken is not a US-based platform, I don't believe, but I like the interface. This is probably all JavaScript, but I don't have XRP in here. Got Cardano, which is ADA. I'll try to see if they have XRP. Again, XRP is probably having some problems because of their SEC issues in being listed. But I also, since I've got it up, Cardano, which is ADA, and here's the easiest place to see this price as it's changing. I think it's been, around, it's down 14%. It's been at about 1.4, I think. Let's see here. Let's see if XRP will come up. Here we go. XRP, I'm going to pull up USD because that's what I understand. And so here's XRP. Let's see. Wow, look at this. I mean, at 150, this is a pretty big swing if I'm looking at this right. I can't actually see. Yeah, it was at 150 at 2109. So that's what, 11 o'clock or 9 o'clock, whatever it would be. And then it's dropped to 15. So, I don't know. We may be exiting this quote unquote altcoin season. I'm not sure. It's not like the altcoin season. And if you guys not sure what that is, just Google it, when you have some time and read up on it some. But this altcoin season, it's not like they announce it and say, we're in the altcoin season. And it's not like they necessarily say it starts on January 1st and it ends on April 15th, right? It's something that just kind of happens dynamically and they've given it a name. But Cardano and XRP looks like they've had some pretty big moves. Let's pull up Cardano again real quick. And I'll be the first to say I'm not, at this point in time, a technical analyst. I know enough to be dangerous about what some of the things on this screen mean. But again, if we go back here and look at a high here at 136 and its low was 130, but if we go far enough in, we can see, look at that, $1. That would have been, in my mind, an excellent place to get into Cardano. But I'm going to come back to the comments. Suffice it to say, I think that both XRP, Ripple, and Cardano, ADA are good ones to be in, along with Dogecoin, of course. I used to travel to Stephenville, Texas for work. My name is Stephen Hilson from Sterling, Massachusetts. Wow, were you living in Massachusetts when you traveled to Stephenville? That's a long distance. And I know of, two big companies, FMC, and then there's a abrasive company, kind of like Norton, but it's not Norton. Those are the two biggest ones that I know of. And of course, you probably know that we're talking about cowboy country, right? In Stephenville. They call it the cowboy, the cowboy city or something like that. So yeah. I'll be getting off after you see this. I wish you the best of luck tonight, and we'll come back next time. It's been a pleasure watching. Hey, thanks, man. Have a good one. Have a great evening, and thanks for joining. It's awesome. Thanks for coming. So still got some people on. We're going to be here for a little bit longer, as long as we've got people engaging with us. Like I had mentioned, if you guys want to, although again, the main topic is, as long as people are asking and are sharing their thoughts and comments about Dogecoin, that's our primary focus, but we did talk about Tesla for a while. I will mention while I'm just kind of waiting to see if anybody else wants to share some thoughts or comments, and then I'll go back to talking about Dogecoin. But I would highly recommend that you look into NIO, which is NIO. They you may or may not know, they're basically a competitor to Tesla. They're more focused on the luxury market. Of course, they're based in China. That's a big part of their market. They're also now moving into Europe, maybe other places as well. I'm not sure, but they're at a close. Well, they're not at a 52-week low, but they're right in the middle, right? So it's in the 30s, I think 34. Let's just go take a look at it for a minute while we're waiting for something else to take up our time. I do have that in my Webull profile, and I hit the wrong thing, but this is cool. You could look up news about them. Sorry. So NIO is opened at 34. Its low was 34.06, so it ultimately didn't go much lower than its open, and it closed at 36.09. So not a lot of movement ultimately. Look at this though, 52-week low, $2. Imagine getting into it at that point in time, but the 52-week high is 66. I talked about this last night as well. They got a lot of good things going for them. They'll give Tesla a run for the money, at least in the luxury sector, in China especially. So we're talking about some pretty good potential percentage increase, if you will, over the year. And there's some that are predicting this even be at $90 a share before the end of this year. I do have some NIO stock, and they're also saying that it could be, I think, 140 maybe or more, up to 200 next year. So if you're investing in both cryptocurrencies and equity stocks, then I think this is one you might want to look at. Palantir is another one you may want to look at. ARK, this is what I was talking about earlier, and I keep hitting the thing that I guess pulls up the news for that. But ARK Innovation, let's see how it did today. It went a little bit lower than its open, closed at 124, so it closed down from the open, but its 52-week high is 126. So, it's it would be more important to know what the target is for that maybe, and I don't know. So it's not as drastic as some of these where they're off of their 52-week high considerably. Right here, they're about where they have been. So this is going to have to go up quite a bit for it to be attractive to anyone. But they've got some really good stocks in their portfolio. Okay, I'm going to get back to the comments. Steve, you are really up late. It's just now hitting me. You're in Massachusetts, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning, my friend. But you may be a night owl like me. Hey, okay, St. Gobain abrasives. Oh, so is that the same as Norton? But anyway, for about 5 years, loved it there. Loved the people. I would travel from Massachusetts. Cool. My day job, quote unquote, is in supply chain management. I implement and help companies implement supply chain solutions from SAP. You've probably heard of SAP. And although I've not done anything with St. Gobain, we've obviously worked with all kinds of companies that make things, distribute things in consumer product goods, high tech, industrial, heavy equipment, food, apparel, a lot of different verticals, if you will, over the last 25 years. So that's really interesting. Fort Worth and then drive 3 hours to Stephenville. Yeah. I live actually really close to Stephenville. So, they've got the college there, Tarleton, which is in A&M. Manny, so you say it's pumping. Maybe I'm not seeing the same thing as you. I mean, it's still at 27, unless my screen is not updating. I'm going to pull it up. Yeah, it's 27. So, I mean, it's certainly pumping in a sense from 25. I mean, if we look back at 2359, right? It was at 25 and now it's at 27. So, well, let me pull this up. So this curve looks really good. If you want, or line, if you want to call it, it's more like a line. It's not really a curve. But again, if you're day trading and you've got enough, that would be kind of a fun place to be. 25 and then maybe sell again at 27. So again, it's not always the case, but I have I've heard that around 2:30 or so US time that it can go up. So we're getting close to that, and if you're on the East Coast, then it's already 2 a.m. as I was just mentioning to Steve. So Jabil, yeah, Jabil for Internet of Things. I've heard about them as well. There's so many good companies out there. At some point you have to decide, and either one is okay in my mind because it becomes a personal preference or a decision that you've made with your own analysis. You can either own individual stocks primarily, or you can go with like this ARK fund and others like it. That ARK fund, again, is kind of their premier, from a performance perspective, the ARKK, and they've got 5 different ETFs. That one is exclusively focused on quote-unquote disruptive innovations. So, some of the most forward-looking companies, doing some of the most out there kind of things, right? Innovating, disrupting markets, all of that. I mean, you think about it, Robinhood was, when it first came out, pretty disruptive, because I think they were really literally the first ones to make it to where there was no commissions. I mean, it was only, I think, after Robinhood that TD Ameritrade and others made it to where at least some of your transactions were commission free, and because they had to compete. It certainly wasn't because they wanted to. Why would you, if you've always charged commissions and you don't have anybody pushing you another direction, why would you stop? So I would say, again, Robinhood gets some hate, and you can hate them if you want, but I think the fact that they disrupted the market in the way they did is certainly a good thing. They may have lost their way. They may have not analyzed properly what this would mean volume-wise and all the things. So they may not have the scale that they need. There could be a lot of things that they need to change, but I think they get credit for, if they really meant it, this democratization, if you will, of, the financial world. I think that's a thumbs up. Oh, hey, Steve, work for Walmart supply chain. So cool. Yeah. I've been in supply chain for, like I said, about 25 years. So mostly in statistical forecasting and, sales forecasting, all that kind of thing. So obviously, in many ways, this is, the stock market and cryptocurrencies with regards to at least evaluation of data and all of that's kind of right up my alley. I've been out of the game, like I said last night, for probably 10 years, just focusing on work and family and all the things. Got out of the market when it had that, really bad time in 2008 and really just never got back in. Never even gave cryptocurrencies a second thought back in the day again, because just for a lot of reasons. But again, better late than never. I'm in it now. And it's the whole thing about blockchain is super, super innovative, or super, super, interesting. I know Walmart is definitely, among others, an SAP user. Walmart has some of the largest databases in the world. I think Walmart is, in some ways, giving, Amazon a run for their money. I know that they want to take them head on to the best of their ability. I was saying last night, and Steve, I don't think you were on last night's stream. If you were, let me know. But, we were talking about how, how big of a catalyst it would be if someone like Amazon or Walmart or Target, announced that they were going to begin to accept Dogecoin. Because we were talking about Dogecoin, it could be just as disruptive and just as much a catalyst for maybe some other coin. But I think Dogecoin is maybe pumped and primed and ready to be used again as a means of transacting, average type of transaction on a day-to-day basis. And imagine using Dogecoin to pay for freight, for example, right? All the kind of things that a company does on a day-to-day basis, buying their indirect procurement, buying brooms and, pens and pencils and all that kind of stuff. Imagine what that would do for Dogecoin. It would just, I can't even imagine, honestly. Some of those kind of things could literally be all it took to get it to, let's say, $5, maybe even $10. And the cool thing, although there is, quote unquote, an unlimited supply, it's an unlimited supply at what I would call kind of a controlled amount, because I think it's 5 billion Dogecoin, excuse me, a year that can be mined. I'm going to have to take another drink. But that's that's 5 billion Dogecoin. So I think I heard someone say, because I didn't do the math, that's only about $500 million, given the current, at the current price. And that might have been when it was $8, something like that. I don't know. But so the fact that there is some component, a certain component of quote unquote inflation in it makes it much more adept at being something like, at least here in the U.S., right, the dollar. So I don't know if there's anything stopping these large companies like Walmart, Amazon, Target, maybe to a lesser extent, whatever, Costco, Best Buy, all these kind of companies like this. There may just need to be a little bit more infrastructure, some things like that. But that's going to be huge if any of these companies decide to do that. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people are thinking that, Steve. You're not alone in that. Um, someone on the stream last night said that they had 275,000 Dogecoin. So I think they're well on their way, depending on, even if they bought in at 35. But I think, they were literally, I think their average cost, if I remember right, was in the, single digit, pennies, if you will. So something under 10. So, yeah, I said this earlier. You might have already been on by then. If I was able to have enough to then, see a multiple where, it hits a 500,000, $1 million mark, I'd be very, very tempted to take in a considerable amount of profit at that time, or something. In other words, those are levels where I would be very, very tempted to take some of it out and maybe even all of it. I don't know. It just depends, right? It's hard to know right now what it's going to do. We'll only know as the coin progresses, as hopefully it becomes adopted more and more. I'm not sure that it would ever go over 100, for example, but if it is to the point where it's like Ethereum, for example, or Bitcoin, for example, with regards to its consistent increase, whatever that consistent increase is, then I'd probably continue to hold it unless I had to retire, for example, or had some kind of emergency or something that kind of forced me into doing that. I mean, right now, probably similarly to you, I'm blessed to have a great job. I do this kind of stuff on the side, if you will. So, I've got some flexibility. And so I can wait longer than other people might be willing to or want to wait. So, yeah, pretty cool that you're in that. The company that I work for, again, is a consulting company. So we do, SAP has a module, if you will, or a set of modules under the integrated business planning area, if you will. So that's, demand planning, for example, forecasting, statistical modeling for sales. Then that feeds into supply planning for your, procurement, whether that's indirect or direct procurement. And then there's also the part related to production, so that you know what your production schedules, that type of thing should look like. So I have been to Bentonville one time, and I honestly, it's been so many things have happened since then. I'm trying to remember what company I was with at the time. I did work for Manugistics for several years. They no longer exist as Manugistics. They were bought out, but they were a supply chain company. Hey, that's still good, man. I wish my average was 10, and depending on how many you have, the other night I did some, or well, it's been more than the other night, but I showed it the other night. I did a little spreadsheet, nothing super fancy, but at 10 cents average, depending on how many coins you have, again, when it gets to 20, even 10, you're probably sitting on a pretty good chunk. Yep, that's a good strategy, Steve. I'm doing the same. Again, I took some money that I had. Well, I sold some stock that I had in TD Ameritrade. It wasn't losing money, but it wasn't really performing to the levels that you can get in cryptocurrency, and it wasn't a ton of money. It was, again, like you're saying, an amount that I'm willing to lose. Don't want to lose it. Who wants to lose their money? So willing to lose it, or I should say, I'm willing to take this the level of risk that's involved for the amazing potential reward. So it could turn out to not be the way that we're thinking it's going to be, but I'm honestly super optimistic at this point in time. That's why I'm not so concerned. As much as it's interesting to know what's causing the downfall, or as much as it would be interesting to know more exactly what caused it to go to 50, Because of my strategy, those don't sway me. They just become interesting things to know and to discuss, like we're talking about tonight. Because if you're in it to win it, if you will, or in it long term, it doesn't matter what caused it to go to 20, for example, and then you buy in, or what caused it to go to 50. If you're not going to sell, it doesn't matter. What matters, arguably, is all of these catalysts that eventually takes it to the level where you're going to cash out. Everything in between is fun and interesting and important in one sense or another, but not something in my mind that you want to lose sleep over. But that's easier said than done for some, and I completely get it, completely accept that, and maybe we can help comfort some or give them some thoughts on ways that they can also sleep easier at night. That's cool, man. Hey, 5,000 coins or 5,000 coins, that's not bad. Maybe you'll be able to set aside some to get some more at one of the dips. But so you do have Robinhood right now, it sounds like. So like I mentioned earlier, for what it's worth, as soon as Webull announces or sends out a notification or whatever, or maybe I just have to discover it on my own, but the minute that they allow Dogecoin to be on their platform, and assuming, like, their other stuff, that it's commission free, then it's highly unlikely that I'll buy Dogecoin on Robinhood anymore, honestly. I could, time will tell. But as long as those transactions go smoothly on there, I love the app that they have. I love the platform that they have on the PC. I've got them both. I can have that Windows desktop app on my main computer, and then I got a computer over here to the right of me, so I can have it on two of them. Use one to just kind of monitor how things are changing up and down, like right now over there. So it's gone up to 28. So that's pretty good. So yeah. Yeah, no, I'm obsessing too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm naturally a dreamer, and to a fault sometimes tend to think that the glass is half full instead of half empty, if you will, that kind of thing. So it didn't take me too long to whip up a spreadsheet and look at what the possibilities would be, for exactly the same thing. And for me, I know a lot of us, and I'm not sure exactly where you're at, but a lot of us use the term or word retirement, and yes, I want to quote unquote retire, but it's maybe different than some. I don't want to necessarily retire. I want to, like many, have the freedom to maybe pursue things that I'm more passionate about, that hopefully will continue to generate an income. But if they don't, that's fine, because of because of what and my light just went out, so I'm going to put it back on. Because of the fact that now, I don't have to work, which means I could, for example, spend more time with a nonprofit. I already am the president of a substance abuse council in our county, and, that's very meaningful work, but I could do a lot more for and with that organization if I was financially free, quote unquote. But I'm thankful for the job that I have. It's a blessing, and I'll continue to do it. So yeah. All right, I'm going to pull up here the and I got to find my phone. My iPad decided to die on me. So you guys hang for a minute here. But it looks like that it is kind of on this upward trajectory. So that's good, 28. So that's the highest it's been for, I think, probably a few hours, right? So if we go back, 27 was the high there, 28, 46. So that's actually a little bit higher. $29. So anyway, it's it's working its way back up. It looks like it's kind of funny, being here in the U.S. and not knowing what's going on in the other parts of the world, because I would think that generally speaking, those of us that live in the United States are probably not trading right now. We're probably not buying and selling. So these drivers are more likely either programmed buys and sells, which could be being executed from those here in the U.S., or it's happening obviously in other parts of the world. So a little harder to know. Hey, yeah, so come on down to the South. I think that's great. Pay off your house is awesome. I'm guessing that it would be something that I would assume that, comparing real estate prices in Massachusetts, for example, the East, Upper East, and comparing that to prices of something equivalent or whatever, that you would do quite well, selling and then moving down to the South. I mean, the real estate market here in the South is pretty crazy right now. I think you'd still get a better deal, but our real estate agents down here are basically literally posting on Facebook, on their personal page or personal profiles and other things, saying, hey, do you know of any houses? We'll give you a finder's fee, right, if we end up selling that house, $500 or whatever. So homes are selling really, really, really quick here. Inventory is really low. Lumber prices are up, I think, 135%, at least here. It's probably all over the nation. So a lot going on there. Real estate market's booming, and investing in property, I think, is a tremendous idea. I think it's great. A lot of people talk about passive income, and we've talked about it some in these 80 plus days. We've talked about things as simple in one sense as affiliate marketing, and as involved as, a developing a course that you can then sell, electronically. And of course that's recurring money. But the deal with passive income, it really honestly doesn't exist with regards to the name in its purest form, because I don't know of anyone that's able to, in a sense, passively earn money without having to invest some time and some money up front, putting in some sweat equity, if you will, and other things to build something to the level where it is then coming in while you're sleeping. Set aside the market for a minute. Even like real estate, if you just walk away from it and do nothing, then those homes or whatever you're invested in are over time going to degrade. And if you don't keep them kept up, then you're either going to have to take less and less for them, and at some point people don't want to rent them anymore, right? So you're almost always having to put something into it, less than maybe other types of things, traditional work, but passive income in the way that a lot of people think of it doesn't exist. But I know what you're saying. Yeah, thanks, man. It is very rewarding, I would say, to be involved in that. We're doing this has nothing to do with Dogecoin, but since we're talking about it, and I think it may only be you and me for the most part on now, but we're working on getting grants and things like that so that we can help the community with overdose prevention. There's something called naloxone, which actually can reverse an overdose. So we're trying to get that out and into the community where people they'd either have friends, relatives, family members that are at risk, if you will, can have that available to them so that they can use it in the unfortunate event that they need to. Yeah, hey Charlie, thanks for joining. You have you been sitting back quietly? I'm glad you're here, regardless of how long you've been on. But yeah, you need to keep the taxes up. A lot of advantages, obviously, to real estate, as far as capital appreciation and being able to leverage your money and all kinds of things. But it still takes work. Now, one approach to that, for those that want to have less work on themselves, you just have to give up a little bit of your profit, which, depending on the stage in life, you still may want to do it, but you can, hire a property manager, quote unquote. You still want to keep them in check, like anything, right? It's just like, these celebrities that turn their money over to some kind of manager, and they wake up one day and realize that either they don't have any money or they've been funneling money away and all those kind of things. So, everything requires, unless you just somehow get the best person ever in the world, the most honest person in the world, and I'm not saying they don't exist, but anyway, yeah, property manager. If I had a lot of properties, I think I would almost certainly have a property manager that I would, check up on, if you will, but I'd do that so some of that burden would be lifted from me. So, hey, Charlie, regardless of how long you've been on, glad you're here. I would ask, if you don't mind, if you haven't subscribed, that would mean a lot to me. If you'd turn on the notifications, that would be great, because the reality is YouTube, in their infinite wisdom, decided that if someone subscribes, that is not enough to indicate that they're interested in the channel, and you have to turn on the notification to know when we go live next. I would be curious if you're willing to interact a little bit. Charlie, let me know how you found out about the channel. I'm going to guess maybe it was Twitter, but maybe not. And in the description, again, if you're open to that, you may want to, be in on a few more lives before you decide. But if you want to connect with me on, Twitter and other things, if you go in the description there's links for all the social media places where you can find us. But as far as video and as far as streaming, the place that we like to hang out the most is right here on YouTube. And you saying that, I do remember you from last night, actually. So thanks a bunch. And you clicked the bell. That's awesome. So you're up really late. We've been going live almost 3 hours. We went live 4 hours last night, and I deleted my Twitter due to censorship. Hey, you're my kind of guy, honestly. I'm not making excuses, but if it wasn't for the fact that I also help people with growing their social media and other things, and with the fact that some businesses really don't care about all that kind of thing. And I'm not making excuses, but if I didn't have to remain relevant in a lot of those ways, I would have to say that I hear where you're coming from. I was totally, it has nothing to do with Dogecoin, but doesn't have to do with Dogecoin. It's a free, it's my channel, right? So we can talk about it. I was furious when Parler got shut down. I still haven't forgiven, if you will, the organizations that were basically involved in doing that. I think the fact that that could even happen here in the United States is just a travesty. I don't know what we're going to do. I just actually read today that, who was it? Ben Shapiro from the Daily Wire. I just read the headline, but he had mentioned that someone had been permanently banned from Twitter because they shared something that, just wasn't basically, the popular narrative. I don't know what it was, but I'm with you. Have a great night. Sorry for all the messages not related to Doge. Hey, don't apologize. I don't think there's only a few of us still on, so we don't have to stay on topic necessarily. If Doge questions are not being asked, I'd like to think that I have a well-rounded personality, if you will, and a number of interests, so it's perfectly fine. I do appreciate you coming, and hopefully you'll come back and we'll continue to talk about this exciting thing called Dogecoin and cryptocurrencies in general, and even the broader market. So I do appreciate it so much. You searched for Dogecoin and found. So did you search on YouTube or search on Twitter with the hashtag? Either way, it's fine. I'm just curious. I'm I also try. I say try because it can be challenging sometimes for businesses to embrace new ways of thinking and stuff, but I try to help organizations with social media and that type of thing. You may have heard, and Charlie, I don't remember when you came on, but I talked about it last night a little bit, that Slim Jim found out basically, found a gold mine in jumping on this Dogecoin bandwagon and grew their Twitter account by 160% or something like that, 5 million more impressions than they would normally have. So they figured out the secret. Steve, we have some grants available. We should try to connect. Yeah. Hey, if you want to, I'll put my email in here, and you can send me an email, or that way you don't have to share yours. But if you send me an email, I would love to talk to you about that possibility. We always need grants, because the reality is, obviously, it takes money to do those kinds of things. And, we live in a smaller county, but I also, as the social media kind of guy for our council, try to put things even on our social media that can be something that, anyone, regardless of what part of the America they're in, or the world for that matter, could use, right? Information, that type of thing. Hey, Charlie, I think I remember. So thanks, Steve. I think I remember you saying this last night, Charlie. I know someone had mentioned that they filtered on live, and I'm glad you actually mentioned that, because I've actually never thought about using that filter. I'm sure I've seen it 100 times, and I actually used it today. So I learned something, actually, so which was pretty cool. So I think it's kind of interesting, honestly. I don't want to characterize this too much, but actually, quite a few people last night, and obviously, I think tonight that would seem to me to be more conservative oriented or minded, if you will. And I don't have any hesitation to say that would probably characterize me as well. So I'm I'm with you probably all the way on most of that. Yeah, I think it is. I think it is. I think it definitely is benefiting Doge as well. I think that that's just one more catalyst. I'm sure we could, take these catalysts and probably put them in something like a high, medium, low kind of thing with regards to their impact. But I think it has a cumulative effect. So I don't think at all that it's of no impact, right? That Slim Jim has done this. I think on 420, that big day 420. We talked about this earlier in the live stream before you joined, but it's they're releasing something. I think they're coming out with a Slim Jim like container or something like that has the Dogecoin on it and all of that. So I think it makes a difference. I'm going to take my headphones off for a little bit because I know that my speaker is working, and it's starting to hurt my ears. Not that that should matter to you guys. I normally wear the headphones because then I don't have to worry about this now because it's 1:40 in the morning. But a lot of times I wear the headphones, number one. So if I've got background music playing, or just to make sure that my microphone hasn't petered out, but I've also got a level meter right in front of me. So anyway, it's kind of habit. Completely agree, Charlie. Um, I earlier in the stream, I was talking about the fact that I'm toying with the idea of doing let's say, an 8-hour stream on Tuesday, realizing that not everyone will be able to watch it all, but it'd be cool if they could leave it going in the background on a device of some sort. But because I know a lot of us work, obviously, I do as well, but I work from home, so I'm thinking I will start a stream on 420 and basically just let it run. And when I can't be on it for whatever reason, I'm just going to have it where where my Webull trading platform, if you will, can just be up and show how Dogecoin is tracking. Who knows what's going to happen, but it's very possible that if a few things come together, that the Dogecoin could get up to 50. It got almost there without anything like what is anticipated, at least on 420. Yeah, I was in that same boat. I don't even know, honestly, or don't remember well, I mean, I'm sure it was on the internet. I'm sure I was searching something or another, and saw Dogecoin and just kept popping up and all that kind of thing. And then I finally decided to get in. Bitcoin, sure, they've heard of that. Hey, Alexander. Good evening. Sorry you have to see my old bald head. But yes, it did take a beating. We were looking at, and I'm going to pull this up again because I think it's interesting, and we have a little bit different crowd now. But this chart, and I don't know if this is updated in real time, but this is the kind of the ranking of, the top. It technically could show up to 100. I've got it filtered on the top 20, but the top by market cap, or you could sort it by various other things. But if we look at right now, it's sorted by market cap, right? So Bitcoin, no surprises, 1. Ethereum, no surprises, 2. Binance Coin, I honestly don't know a lot about that, but I need to look into that some. I guess they even have a buy recommendation on these. Anyway, I noticed first, because I wasn't looking at these charts over here, I noticed that Cardano and Dogecoin, because those are the ones that I looked at specifically yesterday, Cardano was up to 45 billion in market cap, and Dogecoin was at 42. So I guess the only way that drops off is obviously a bunch of people sell. So if that's true, then that would explain these downward curves. So I guess some things have literally changed tonight, because some of these under this 7-day thing, which again, if you're on a phone, it's probably hard to see, but some of these charts, the last part of that 7-day was taking a steep dive down. But yes, I noticed the same thing, that a lot of these were impacted. But here's the other thing. I mean, of course, we're just looking at the this small curve, so it's hard to tell, but it does look like that Dogecoin was impacted less, probably as a percentage, over some of these others. Now, if I actually filter this on, this is a pretty impressive thing. Look at this. Year-to-date increase, at least. Look at who's on top. Dogecoin, and then this Binance coin, which again, I don't know much about what utility that has. I'm not saying Dogecoin necessarily has a quote-unquote a lot of utility, quote-unquote, yet. And this Solano, know nothing about it, but look at the percent increases on these. Filecoin, I do know that I want to look into this more. This is supposed to be something pretty interesting. So yeah, that's really, really interesting. And then if we look at volume and sort it by the most, Dogecoin is 3rd by volume. So another one that I want to do more research on and probably get into is XRP. Oh yeah, some background music. Yes, I mentioned this earlier as well. As far as the background music, I'm going to try that. I've been playing background music, except for last night I didn't, but the previous 3 nights I did, and I got copyright claims. But I actually pay for the royalty-free service, and I still got copyright claims. I've got a support email out there to try to, and I need to check that maybe even before I go to bed tonight, or maybe I check it tomorrow, but I've got a support ticket out there to try to get them to not only remove the copyright claim, but to tell me if I should be able to just start a playlist that's just basically would just run from one to the next to the next to the next, because otherwise, if I can't do a playlist, I literally have to download each song, and it's just a pain. But I'm looking into that. So Charlie, you'll have to share the theories that you heard. Yes, yeah. I mean, the disruption factor, if you will, and the decentralization let's be honest, a lot of people don't want that to succeed because a lot of the middlemen get taken out. Lots of fees, lots of control with all of these middle layers, right? So a lot of people, I'm sure, don't want this to succeed, but I think it's probably inevitable. And that's just like, want to be sympathetic, but it's just like one of these days it is going to actually happen. And I'm only using this as an example where, because of machine learning and artificial intelligence and the increasing capability of computers, and NVIDIA, for example, putting AI technology on their chips, all that, accountants, except for probably a few very specialized accountants, they're going to be out of a job. Literally. All kinds of disruptive things going on. It's just like the Amazon, I'm forgetting now what they call it, but basically the concept grocery store, right, in Seattle, Washington, where there are no people basically running the thing for the most part. There's maybe 1, 2, or 3 people in there to just make sure everything keeps running. But someone, I guess, brings in the stuff, puts it somewhere where then robots, I'm just using that term loosely, but where robots basically come get it all. There are hundreds and hundreds of cameras. So when someone picks up something, it knows how much they should be charged. They don't even have to go to a cashier. It automatically charges their Amazon card or whatever. They walk out and they're done. So there's no stalkers in there. There's no cashiers in there. There's very few people. I'm sure you guys know as well that there are McDonald's, for example, where they have kiosks, and so the number of people that are needed to operate that McDonald's considerably less. And so, it's going to be interesting, and I'm digressing a little bit, but it's going to be really, really interesting to see, what kind of jobs are going to be available for those that typically find themselves working in, a McDonald's or a grocery store or any other kind of thing like that. And maybe to a lesser extent, but even a warehouse. We all already obviously have been automating warehouses significantly for a long time, but it's only going to continue to advance. Yes, I've seen the same thing, Alexander, because I heard this a couple of different times yesterday as well. I finally got around. You can't find I've not been able to find that message, if you will, on the desktop app, but when I pull it up on my phone, I see the same thing where it says basically that it's being tested or something, quote unquote, like that. So I'm anxiously waiting and highly anticipating that being released, because like I mentioned earlier, and I'm not sure if you were on yet, but I mentioned earlier, I'm going to definitely make a purchase of Dogecoin. My next purchase, if timing works out, my next purchase will be on Webull. I don't know if you have a Webull account. For those of you that are watching right now, or maybe you're watching the replay, there is a link in the description. If you want to check out Webull, you can get some free stocks, and I think it'd be cool. Yeah, I agree, Steve. It's going to be great if they do it. Yeah, it's very possible. It would be interesting. Here's, although that picture that was on Twitter that then has the Discord link that doesn't actually work showed a screen that said that someone bought, whatever it was, one of them I'm pretty sure said $1 trillion, another one I think said 3 trillion that was bought. That obviously would cause it to go up, but what's happening as you guys are talking about, is many ways it's going down. I mean, it's been at 26, 27, it's at 28, so it's kind of making a upswing back. So maybe all the whales have already sold what they're going to sell, but that very well could explain what's happening. I'm sure there's a way, some way to maybe kind of validate that, but I'm not sure. There's a good video about it on Cryptos R Us. Okay, is that a YouTube channel? If it is, I'm going to have to check it out. Yeah, and as far as the YouTube, the main reason I care about it, honestly, I don't care so much about the fact that, well, here's the bad part about it. It's not a strike in the sense that they're not slapping my hand and saying that's one strike and you get 3, for example, before there's some kind of a thing that happens. But that particular video then is basically can be monetized by the copyright owner. And, I obviously hope that I'm able to get to that 1,000 subscribers, 4,000 watch hours, and able to get into the YouTube partner program. And that particular video would in perpetuity be unable to be monetized by me. And even more important, honestly, than the monetization is that video does not count towards my watch hours. And these longer live streams obviously, can provide a healthy number of hours towards that. So I'm trying to get 4,000 watch hours. That's where I'm at right now. Technology automation, yes. Well, this is one of the things that I talk about or a lot on some of my previous live streams, hoping that parents, for example, are maybe watching it so that they can prepare their kids for the inevitable reality that not that they necessarily have to go to college, but they need to be made aware of the fact that the more traditional jobs that maybe some will gravitate to when they have not as much education, or maybe they're just in a period where they, not ready to go to college, all those things, a lot of those jobs are going to disappear. I'm hoping obviously some other kind of thing will be there, but I'm not so certain. Honestly, I'm not convinced that it won't have a net negative impact on unemployment. I guess time will tell. Yeah, I mean, China's obviously different. Governments in general, right, have reasons to try to keep some hold on some of this kind of thing, whether it's Russia, United States, China, whatever. I'm obviously not for the illegal use of these kinds of technologies, so obviously we need to try to find a way to make sure that cryptocurrency is not used to facilitate, human trafficking, all those kinds of things. So that can be a problem. But I'm completely for removing the middleman where the middleman is not needed, and it's only a extra layer. If you were to study, for example, and that's changed some now because of Amazon, for example, and electronic books, but the traditional book publishing industry has all kinds of layers in the middle that just add cost, and ultimately means that the author and the publisher, there's a lot of stuff in between the author and the publisher that a lot of waste in that supply chain, that traditional supply chain at least. Yeah. Are you saying you can't use Weeble where you're at? I'm curious what state you're in. I started to say that's funny. It's not funny, actually. That's just a phrase I use, probably too much. But I'm unable to use Binance. I live in Texas, and for whatever reason, Binance is not available to me. I went through all the process of signing up and all that, and then it's like, Texas won't allow you to use this. Thanks, Charlie, for letting me know about the Cryptos Are Us. I'm definitely going to go check that out. Not tonight, but as soon as I end this stream, I'm going to bed. But yeah. Yeah, that's right, Alexander. I think that there's enough, or one piece of evidence that Coinbase is going to be adding Dogecoin. Well, it's probably two things. I mean, there's a lot of people that want it. It would help them because that's more for them. There will be transaction costs. So those that choose to buy and sell Dogecoin on Coinbase, excuse me, will be paying transaction fees. So it's arguably it's in Coinbase's advantage to add Dogecoin. I think Dogecoin has moved out of that phase that it was in, where maybe it was like, okay, this is really silly and whatever, right? There's enough people behind it, enough volume behind it that it just makes sense. The thing that's maybe hindering that more so than them accepting the legitimacy of the coin is the technology. Apparently, the Dogecoin architecture, if you will, or the code had not been maintained much, and Coinbase has some standards that need to be met, and I've seen what looks to be, proof that that's being worked on. You're in New York State, okay? Wow. So Charlie, are you able to get Dogecoin one way or another through an exchange? And I'm curious, do you know if is it application oriented, or are there certain coins that are also restricted? Anyway, I hope you have some way of getting that. And I'm wondering, do you have a Coinbase account? But wow, I can't imagine not being able to have Webull. Actually, that's kind of that's pretty messed up. Who let the Doge out? Hey, Raptor Printer. Good evening. Forgive me if I don't remember if you were on the live stream last night or not. We had a really good one last night. This one's been great as well. Not as the volume's been down a little bit compared to last night, but nonetheless, thanks for being on. I'm starting to see some of the other regulars. I say regulars only in the sense that they were on last night. So I'll just say, make sure that you, if you haven't subscribed, hit the bell, all those kind of love things. My goal for tonight would be, it would be an amazing thing. I'm not sure if we'll get there tonight, but if we get to 500 subscribers, that's just going to really spur me on. Elon Musk did. Yeah, he did. He let the Doge out. Says, if this wasn't fun, there's no way I would be up this late, right? There's no way I would do a 4-hour live stream, half of a workday, if this wasn't fun. I'm starting to, I know, look tired, so I'm still going to hang for a while, if you will forgive the fact that my appearance is obviously starting to look like I need some sleep. Okay, yeah. Hey, thanks, Sea Sky City. Like I was saying um, before you joined, my day was pretty busy, so I didn't get to really um, check up a lot on what was going on. And again, I've been streaming now for about 3 hours, so I don't tend to surf very much while I'm doing that because I feel a little weird about doing that. So we have been retweeting some things on Twitter just to try to maybe bring in some more engagement. But I'd be interested to know. Obviously, something is happening. Um, One of our friends here had mentioned that there's some talk that some of the whales had maybe been selling off some. That would certainly explain a dip as well. Hey, so Raptor Printer, I see that your avatar is a guitar. Are you a musician? Okay. Congressional hearing concerning fintech. Yeah, I mean, who knows what's going to come out of all of that? Um, I think there are definitely going to be winners and losers. I could be wrong, but I think cryptocurrency and a certain amount of decentralization is here to stay and a foregone conclusion. But there's no way that thousands of these types of companies can um, emerge, if you will. So I think I think there's maybe broader application, which means a larger set of players than some may think. But at the same time, I don't think there's any way that thousands, um, would be able to play in this game at least at any significant level. But there's always those that would be presumed to never have be able to get off of the landing pad, if you will, right? And they emerge just like Dogecoin. So I could but Doge on Robinhood if I wanted to buy, but my Doge is got from mining. Oh yeah, I remember that, Charlie. So okay, well good. At least you have an avenue if you choose to get in. So it's at 28 right now. That's better than it was earlier today. Okay, yeah, and you're on Coinbase, but you're right, they haven't verified it yet. Um, my only hesitation, or I shouldn't say hesitation, my only problem with Coinbase is obviously, unless they make an exception, there are going to be fees. So I would have to, and I'm not saying I wouldn't do it, I'm going to have to analyze, do the due diligence, I guess, in seeing why would I use Coinbase when I can get it free on Robinhood or Webull. And again, with Robinhood coming out with a wallet, unless it's no good for whatever reason, I think then I have the mobility that I would want. So I don't see myself buying on Coinbase right now, but I know I don't know everything. I used Apple Pay on Qcoin earlier today for some Doge. Okay, I've heard of Qcoin. I'm not sure exactly where that's at or if it's US based or whatever, but I do actually like the fact that you could use Apple Pay because you could also use your, I presume, because I think you can convert. Does that mean you can use your points? Can you use your points as well? I guess it's Apple Cash, right? So I'm assuming you could use that. I'm in California, though. I was here last night lurking. I didn't comment. Hey, lurking. I guess, does that mean that we passed the test of, is this a place that's somewhere I even want to hang out? It sounds like maybe we did. So that's awesome. Thanks for being here. Wow. Wow. institution has been charged with money laundering. Okay, so using cryptocurrencies, I guess, for money laundering. Wow, I wish I had more time to keep up with all of this stuff. It's just crazy. Hey Andrew, thanks for coming. Yeah, man, watch it later if you want. We've mostly been just talking about, you know, just covering people's comments, answering questions, looking at some of the trending stuff on Twitter. A lot of people have shared some, I think, some really helpful things. So we're building a nice little community here. I don't pretend to compete with the guys that are able to cover this more during the day and can spend time finding out more information. I do what I can. So thanks for being on. IRS wants a cut. They could care less about terrorism, etc. Yeah, that you may be right. They definitely want their cut. Bought a ton of ETC around $31 a share at the dip. Been up to 40-ish now. Feeling pretty good about it. That's awesome, man. That's awesome. $9 a share is great. I'm not, honestly, I'll have to admit I'm not sure what ETC is, but I used to play different bands, playing lots of shows in Hollywood. Wow. And doing some light touring around the States. I only play, you only play in the bedroom these days. Well, that's great. At least you're keeping the groove on and keeping fresh. Okay, yeah, Coinbase Pro. I guess that's kind of like Amazon Prime, maybe, right? It's like free shipping, but you're probably paying higher prices in one sense or another, I've heard. But Coinbase Pro, I'm assuming, comes with some kind of a monthly fee. And I guess if you're an active trader, it may be worth it. I'm also curious. The one thing I like about Webull, although I don't honestly plan on quote unquote day trading crypto, I do like the interface where you can do the technical analysis, that type of thing. I'm curious if Coinbase has that, or I know that Andrew, which is on tonight, had mentioned a platform that's free that you can connect to probably your different exchanges. So it's probably not as important that Coinbase has their own, as long as you could connect something else to it. Oh no, really? Wow, that's amazing. You work at SpaceX for Mr. Musk, and I'm always tempted to email him to pump. That's so super amazing that you're on this stream. So don't want to make too much of it because everybody's cool, but that brings up something that's interesting, right? That's arguably related to this whole Dogecoin thing. I heard that you guys won the big contract that was out there that Jeff Bezos and whatever his company is called, I guess the competitor SpaceX, and I have to admit I don't know what it's called, but I heard that SpaceX won it, and I think it's worth $9 billion, and I know it has to do with landing on the moon and reinvigorating that thing, and a collaborative effort with private enterprise and NASA. So I'm sure that now a literal Dogecoin is going to be put on the literal moon, right? It's a perfect storm. Everything should be in alignment now for that to happen. So that's cool, man. Keep coming back. I'm honored that we have a SpaceX employee. Are you in Texas somewhere? Corpus Christi? Okay, I'm going to have to look into Qcoin, honestly, because I want to get into XRP, and I'm not sure that even when XRP, assuming that they emerge from all this with the SEC, victorious, if you will. Who knows if Coinbase will relist them? I'd love to see Webull put them on there, and maybe they will once the dust settles with the SEC stuff. But I'm going to have to look into Qcoin because I definitely want to get some XRP. I'm assuming that there are some transaction costs there, and I'm curious as well, if you don't mind me asking, do you have a wallet with Qcoin, or are you able to take your Dogecoin and put it in a wallet? Yeah, got you, Charlie, on Coinbase Pro. I don't know either. Need to look into it at least. Yeah, man, that's awesome, Raptor Printer. So awesome. The news about SpaceX. I'm also, hey, I'm kidding when I'm about to say what I'm about to say, but do you have any? I'm kidding and I'm not. But do you have any way to hook a brother up with getting a little bit more of a discount on the internet thing? I'm so tempted to pull the trigger on the and it's my brain starting to shut down. I'm trying to think of the name of that, Elon Musk, the internet thing, but I'm super pumped. I live out in a rural area, and so I'm actually looking forward to getting that. I have fairly good internet, but that low latency, high speed is, I want to get that. Hey, Sea Sky City, no problem, man. Go to bed. Thanks for joining. I think you can tell I'm about there for the night, but I'm going to keep going just a little bit longer. But thanks for joining. Hope to catch you on another one. Hawthorne facility. I'm a technician at the foundry. Okay. Wow. There you go, Raptor Printer. Hey, my son is a freshman engineering student at Texas A&M. He'd love to talk to you probably about all this stuff. He's definitely an Elon Musk fan. He's a part of as a freshman, he was able to get onto the electric car team that they have there to build a electric car, basically a race car. They've had a gas, if you will, a combustion engine team for a lot of years, and this is their inaugural year for the electric car thing. So he's a big Elon Musk fan. I'm sure he would be head over heels to talk to someone that works at SpaceX. That would be amazing. Hawthorne, California. Yeah. That's Southern California, right? Yeah. It's okay, man. I get it. The beta is, I know, supposedly a discount in and of itself. It's probably best just to sign up for it. I hear that they're saying that they could raise the price at any point in time. Probably makes sense to get set up or to sign up for the beta. I'm kidding when I say this, but I guess I could take a little bit of profit on Dogecoin and and sign up for that. Yeah. Hey, Pivon, thank you so much, man. Have a great one. Have a good night. Well, I think this is probably just as good a time as any. We almost went 4 hours. Want to say thank you to everyone that came out tonight, regardless of whether you've been on for a minute or maybe you've been with us for the whole 3.5 hours. But thanks for coming back again, and I hope you will subscribe if you haven't. Click that bell and maybe punch that like button. And I'm so honored that we've had another great night of streaming. All right. Well, we are going to say goodnight. Thanks everyone for joining. Come back the next time. We will probably continue to do this a little bit later in the evening for a few nights because it just works well. And that way I can be also one of the alternative voices in the sense of, not having to compete during the day. And I've obviously attracted the night owls. So thanks for joining. We'll be live tomorrow night as well. All right. Good night.